check. A very pleasant good evening from Avondale, Arizona, on the campus of Westview High School. Good evening, Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey for Red Mountain Football as head coach Mike Peterson takes his football team way out west to take on the Westview Knights. The Knights with a 68-7 victory over Alhambra last week. Nick Garretts said his football team is ready to play tonight's game. They are banged up and they are going to battle the attrition here tonight with the health of their own football team. They take on the Mountain Lions, who absolutely throttled Dobson 56-0. And James, you look at tonight's game, and last year these two teams squared off in the East Valley at Red Mountain High School. It was a 24-21 affair. Westview is very well coached. They may not have the body count here, but the bodies that they do have on the field are going to give Nick Garretts and Red Mountain everything that they have here this evening.
Well, a fine football tradition here at Westview. They've been quite successful over the last few seasons, Kevin. Obviously been down the last couple of years, but a lot of success prior to that. A number of semifinal games for the Westview Knights. And they're young right now, but they're in the rebuilding mode, and Coach Garretts will get them right and tight right away. And a lot of these guys are just looking to get some valuable playing time here tonight.
And speaking of valuable playing time, Red Mountain got to play a lot of different guys last week. Hunter Jimenez made some plays. A whole list of guys made plays. We'll get to it in our weekly news and notes here as we move throughout the broadcast. But Red Mountain will receive the football here tonight. Back deep is Ramses Rivera. And back deep with Ramses is Daniel the Beast Butler. So the return team is out. And the place kicker here this evening for Westview, Holia, by memory, pick that up for us here. 83 on the place kick. That's Christian Mala. And this is Butler to the far side with a hole to the 25 out to the 30-yard line. He'll take it to the 30, and that's where he'll be stopped right there, and that's where Hyman Bourne and his offense will come out onto the field. Let's set you up on that left side for Red Mountain. The left tackle is Ben Brace, 6'4", 255. He's an East Valley Region first-teamer and a 4-year starter. He will play collegiately at Arizona State. Left of him, to the right of him is the left guard, Isaiah Arta, 6'1", 205. The center is C.C. Costed Cooley, an Air Force commit. The right guard is Carson Foster, and Jake Griffin, the big fella on the right side, 6'6", 250. Hiram Bourne gets the start at quarterback in a 3-wide receiver package. They run it on a sweep to Ty McElroy. Turns the corner, breaks the tackle. We got a first penalty marker of the night. And as McElroy takes the first tote of the ball game to the outside on the boundary, James, good blocking on that edge. And it's a good pickup there, but let's see what the penalty's all about.
Yeah, that's usually in the area of either holding or possibly a little block in the back there. We'll have to see what they say here momentarily, but it's probably going to be a hold.
We'll sort this one out. We'll get you our AIA officiating crew here this evening. Our referee is Bob Ferreria. The line judge is Mark Yower. Our head linesman is Romo Martinez. The umpire is Dave Seifert. And our back judge tonight is Randy Funk. First penalty assessed to Red Mountain. It is a hold, and that's going to send them back 10 yards. That'll negate the 6-yard run by Ty McElroy. So the first 9 seconds of the first quarter result in a penalty, and that'll back up Red Mountain to the 15-yard line. That's where we'll go to work there. They run it to McElroy again, and McElroy is going to be stood up at the line of scrimmage. And Ty McElroy very vocal about the fellas coming up and blocking for everybody, all of the guys' assignments. They need to do a better job blocking, and right there you saw everybody vacate the premises, and the only guy standing there with the football was Ty McElroy, and he got stood up by Terrence McGarry. McGarry had 7 tackles, make it 6 tackles last week. McGarry is 5'10", 180. James, he made a nice play right there.
A great play up front there, using his hands, getting off a block, and getting in the backfield and making a stop.
This is Hiram Bourne on an empty set, 3 to the wide side. It's a quarterback draw. Bourne up the middle, gets past the first level, and then he gets absolutely has his legs taken out from underneath him. That's a big hit by the Westview Knights. And let's hope that Hiram Bourne is okay after that particular play. Great textbook tackling right there by, looked like for Westview. Jonathan Chacon was there, and perhaps Cameron Granado was also there. Granado is 5'9", a junior. He had, coming in tonight's ball game, he has 9 tackles, including a sack and a fumble recovery, and that was a textbook tackle right there. You talk about excellent technique there. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was outstanding that time. And this Westview defensive front right now, they have come to play here, Kevin. They're doing a great job keeping outside contained as well.
It's a 4-man front, so this will be 3rd and a country mile for Hiram Bourne. Empty set for him from the shotgun formation. He throws a strike right over the middle of the field. Making the catch is Jared Wilson, and I think he's going to be just short of the line to gain. He needed the 39-yard line. They're going to spot the ball on the 29, so they missed it by 10 yards. That's a pickup of 13 from Hiram Bourne to Jared Wilson, and that's a picture-perfect pass right on target to Jared Wilson. Excellent route. Just great defense by Westview.
Yeah, Westview's playing great right now on the defensive side of the football. They're closing in very well. Like I said, doing a great job up front. The defensive line is getting penetration, and they're keeping contained on the outside edges. Red Mountain's going to have to get it going here up front.
So here comes Connor Gardner, the left-footed punter. 36.9 average, good for 3rd in the 6A conference. And he gets a favorable roll inside the 40-yard line. And that's where Red Mountain will touch it down. Nice job there by Red Mountain on special teams. Getting in there was Bryce Stahl, the 6', 200-pound senior, getting some special teams playing time. So Red Mountain forced to kick on their opening drive here, James. Westview from the opening outset here. And from our conversations with Nick Garretts, he said his football team's ready to play on this Friday night.
Yeah, they're looking forward to the game. They know that they're up against a formidable opponent in Red Mountain, but they feel like they might be up to the challenge.
Nico Vasco gets the start. His first snap of the night is an errant pass, trying to make a completion out into the flat. His intended target looked like it was Joey Martinez, and he got a lot of pressure from Parker McClure from that Mike backer position right there. Welcome back, Parker. He did not start last week. He got a handful of plays, and it's good to see Parker McClure, number 30, back in there leading the way.
Yeah, Parker McClure did a great job that time, sitting down in that zone, just waiting for that ball to come over the middle there. Excellent job in coverage and denying that completion.
Vasco, second-year starter, 900 total yards of offense for him. He's a dual-threat quarterback. They run it to Martinez on that sweep, trying to turn the corner and get to the boundary was Martinez, and he's going to be tackled on the outside there. Looked like Major Kelly was the first guy to get him, and he had help from Cole Loria. Ethan Peterson also there, JP, huh?
Yeah, a host of Mountain Lion defenders on that one. A great team defense there. Nice pursuit as well there for Red Mountain.
For Vasco, on this season, 617 passing yards with 9 touchdowns. He's a 61% passer, and he has no picks. So this young man's taking care of the football for the Westview Knights at quarterback. Working from the 44-yard line. They run it right up the middle again to Martinez, and Red Mountain was right there waiting for him. Very little penetration by that line. Jake Griffin and Parker McClure get off the pile right there. And for Westview, looked like carrying the football that time was Dominic Fuentes. And if that was indeed Fuentes, 5'6", 150. He's just a junior, but he showed you some quicks right there. Kind of a slither move there, but there wasn't a lot of real estate because that stout defensive front there by Red Mountain all over that play to stuff that one out. It out.
Parker McClure, linebacker for Red Mountain, very happy. He's got a great defensive front from him. That allows him to flow around and make plays. That was a great one there for the defense of Red Mountain.
Red Mountain showing blitz, and they get movement up front. One of the linemen for Westview is Jamaria Lowry. They also have Levin Santillan. We'll call him Santillan, an all-region first-teamer. Santillan, 6'2", 270. He is a load over there. And this offensive line, over the years, they've done a nice job here coaching the line.
Yeah, the line for both these teams is very formidable, and Westview has a great offensive line. They have for a number of years. They're very well coached, and they know how to use their technique and do exactly what they're coached to do.
So the penalty is going to push them back out of yardage to go for it. So it's 4th and 8. Now they'll bring on the punting unit, and that's a nice punt by Mala. And they get the favorable bounce, the Westview night bounce. The ball will be spotted down at the 20-yard line. We'll call it the 21, and that's where Hiram Bourne will come out for his second offensive possession here. 7:57 remaining in this opening quarter from Westview High School, James. And it's a scoreless first quarter, and both teams have had a possession, and both teams' defensive units have stood tall.
So far, a good ball game, especially if you like defensive football right now. Both offenses trying to settle down, settle into the football game, and they'll start clicking here very shortly.
Empty set for Bourne. Ramses Rivera lines up to the near side. Quick pass out in the flat. Looks like it was George Ramirez making the reception. Slips the tackle at the 20, 25-yard line, and then there'll be a host of Knights right there to force Ramirez out of bounds. So Georgie making the catch that time for Ramirez. That is his 5th reception of the season. Georgie has been used seldom on the offensive side of the ball, and you have to credit that to his excellent defense and a lot of depth, and the health of Ty McElroy and Deontay Elliott limits the carries for George Ramirez.
Yeah, but when he is active on offense, he is productive, Kevin.
No question about it. Trips to the far side. It's Bourne again. Quick pass. They go to George Ramirez again. Makes a tackler miss. Looking for blockers to the near side. Now he's in space. And make that Georgie again out of the open field. The 40, 45, 50. Still on his feet. And he'll be run out of bounds. For just a second there, I thought it was Deontay Elliott, and it sure was Deontay Elliott. You could tell by that move in the middle of the field, but unfortunately this one looks like it's coming back. And here we are on the far sideline. Red Mountain wearing their Cardinal pants, their white away jerseys with the silver numbers outlined in Cardinal, and boy, those numbers are brutal. And this lighting here, no LED lights here at Westview High School, but James, you could see that Red Mountain somewhere in the middle there, somebody got their hands caught in the cookie jar, and that's going to negate a big play, about a 30-yard play that looked like it was 50 on paper.
Yeah, Georgie got the handoff going to the far side. He tried to bring it back. Most oftentimes than not, there's going to be a backside hold on that because kids are not able to get turned around quick enough and get good position in order to avoid that holding call.
So they're going to push this one back again, and Red Mountain can't not get out of their own way here in this opening quarter. So Bourne gets the play call from Tabor Lamar and Chris Andrianis. Those two guys in the co-offensive coordinator position doing an outstanding job leading this offense to the top scoring offense in the 6A conference. Over 50 points a ball game. Been remarkable. 50.5. Bourne back to throw with time from the pocket. Throws down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. That time he was looking for Jackson Beecher, and Jackson Beecher showed you a little speed that time for an outside wide receiver there. We've seen him run a lot of routes that are near the line of scrimmage and out routes and easy throws. But this time we saw him stretch it and go deep on a little vertical route.
Yeah, Jackson Beecher got deep in a hurry that time. But how about that football from Hiram Bourne? Had plenty of time to set his feet. Credit to the offensive line there as well for good protection. And a beautiful ball through the air there for Bourne.
Great coverage there by the Westview Knights in their secondary. 3rd and 17 from the 14-yard line of Red Mountain. They swing it out to Ty McElroy to the 15 to the 20, out to the 23-yard line, and it's going to be spilled over there. A nice hard run off that reception by Ty McElroy. And 57, Terrence McGarry, his second tackle of the night for Westview. And for McGarry, we mentioned he had 6 tackles last week, and he also has a fumble recovery to his ledger. So the Red Mountain offense can't get going here on their second series of the night. James, they're going to be forced to punt.
Well, a lot of reason for that right now is number 57, Terrence McGarry. He is a beast right now, going up and down the line of scrimmage for the Westview Knights and making plays.
Great snap there as Bray puts this one. Ball's loose. The return was muffed. Red Mountain may have a chance at the football right here, and the back judge comes in and says, no, this is going to be Westview football. It was their return man, Dominic Fuentes. We mentioned already that Dominic Fuentes had a carry, but he darn near butchered that return there, but he out-rustled the Red Mountain Mountain Lions on that scrum there, and he got the rock back.
He did a bobbled return there for him, and he was able to get on in a hurry right before those Mountain Lions pounced on him, no pun intended there, pounced on that football, but Westview dodging a bullet on that one.
Here comes Nico Vasco, his second offensive series of the night, working out of the shotgun. There goes Martinez in motion. Low snap. Vasco wants to run it. Stretch to the far side. Tries to turn the corner, and he breaks a tackle, lowers the shoulder, and he'll try to get to the 50-yard line. We'll see where they spot the football. And it looked like Trey Smith over there on the hunt, getting after the quarterback that time, and good pursuit by the defensive players for Red Mountain, including Skylar Edmonds.
Skylar Edmonds doing a great job. Trey Smith is always holding up the end there, but how about Georgie Ramirez coming through there with the excellent pursuit angle and knifing through and almost upending that ball carrier.
Speaking of George Ramirez, he is my impact player of the game. Vasco from the pocket throws outside, completion made, and he was forced out of bounds immediately. Making that catch was a player that we talked about before the ball game. That's Isaac Hall. Hall's a playmaker. He had 57 yards on 2 receptions last week. That was before the freshman Cole Shivers knocked him out of bounds. And how about Shivers last week? Almost had a pick 6. He had one right in the breadbasket and just couldn't haul that one in. And I'm sure he thought about that one for the entire rest of the game and all week long as well.
Well, he's been making plays so far all year for Red Mountain.
Yes,
and
he has.
The coaching staff has got to be excited about him. A very bright future ahead for that young man here for the Mountain Lions.
Vasco from the Red Mountain 42-yard line. 3 wide receiver packets, 2 to the wide side. There goes the wide receiver in motion. That's Jonathan Chacon. They give it to Chacon. Chacon's going to be stretched out and stood up on the 39-yard line. We'll see if he even gets the 40-yard line. Ethan Peterson was over there out of that safety position.
Wow, Ethan
Nice job.
Peterson, what a great job that time. Buzzing those feet, charging it in there and coming up and playing that run responsibility. Doing a great job, great form tackle as well, buzzing those feet, wrapping that guy up and taking him to the ground. Outstanding job, and 2 guys right there to help him finish.
EP covered a lot of real estate on that play. Give him his 20th tackle on that one as we are now inside 6 minutes to go in a scoreless ball game. Opening quarter from Westview High School. Vasco out of the pistol. They give it to the tailback, and once again, it looks like it's 85, and it's just such an unorthodox number, but 85, Dominic Fuentes carries the football there. And you talk about someone that's fleet of foot, and he's, has that kind of a scat back type ability. Nice play there and a good run there, and that's a first down yardage. And for Westview, they'll move the chains here as they're approaching the red zone now with the football on the 32-yard line of the Mountain Lions. Working left and right. Westview with their black pants on and their gray jerseys. Red Mountain showing blitz. Vasco takes the snap. He'll keep it himself, and he's going to take it to the 30-yard line. He's going to get popped right there. Putting the pop on, it looked like it was Campos, 45. Also there, Parker McClure, 45, also in on the action. That's Josh Campos, the nose guard, a junior. Had several plays last week, as many student athletes did get in last week. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 29-yard line. They'll give him a 2-yard gain. Again, out of the pistol, it's Vasco trying to change that snap count. He delivers the football to the outside, right there on the hash marks. He was dropped immediately by Major Kelly. Once again, making that reception was Isaac Hall. Hall is the leading receiver on this night football team. Has 23 catches on the season. Entering tonight's ballgame, he had 21 receptions for 264 yards and 5 touchdowns. He is their goal line guy. He is their red zone threat, Isaac Hall. And Coach Garrett's told us he's a stud. From the 24-yard line, this is Vasco up the middle in space, and there he goes. Vasco to the 15, the 10, the 5, and he races into the end zone for a touchdown. A 24-yard touchdown run by quarterback Nico Vasco. And for Vasco, that is his third rushing touchdown of the season. And JP, he went untouched 24 yards to the end zone, and Westview strikes first here.
Yeah, that offensive line got it done on that play that time for the Westview Knights. Base blocking on the front side. They just walled off everyone on the back side and parted the Red Sea there for the Westview Knights. And Nico Vasco just ran right through it and into the end zone.
Nico Vasco is a playmaker. He's also the holder on this kicking team. Waiting for the point after try there by Christian Mala. Mala's 14 of 16 in PATs. And instead, we get movement up front on that left side, James, and that's going to push them back 5 yards. And we've seen how conversions are there's nothing automatic about the point after try, almost at any level now. Since the NFL has changed the rules, it's a complete crapshoot now on the point after tries. And with some of the rule changes, you could kick a 48-yard point after try, and this one is no good.
Wow.
So the 5 yards cost Westview, and unfortunately, Mala can't connect, so he's now 14 of 17. Red Mountain dodges the point after try bullet, and they will walk out of this drive trailing 3:49 to go. Now it's time to get their offense in gear. This is the top scoring offense in the 6A conference.
Yeah, they're going to get it going here very shortly. That kick looked like it might have been almost good from up here, but it had plenty of leg on it. But you mentioned the challenges with these extra points now. It is a little bit more challenging, which makes it a little bit more interesting because you never really know what's going to happen. And I think it was kind of getting a little boring and a little stale for a little while. And the NFL did shake it up, and then it's kind of trickled down through the ranks, as you said. But
because that's what the National Football League needs to do. They've got the most watched sport in the world, and they need to make tweaks, and they need to refine it to get more viewers because number one is not good enough.
Right.
It's odd for the NFL.
We're available for hire if you're listening out there, anyone.
Seth Blansky on the field for the AIA 365. Of course, tonight's game being broadcast live on the AIA 365 and also on radio as well, right, JP?
Yeah, I believe they're on 1580 The Fanatic tonight, 1580 AM in Phoenix.
We'd like to thank our outstanding crew here on Red Mountain TV tonight. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. 6-0 Westview as Nico Vasco reaches pay dirt for the third time on the ground this season, and Westview has opened up a 6-0 lead. They draw first blood, and when you go back to the Westview Knights, they finished 8-3 a season ago. They were 5-0 in the region, and you think about the 6A Southwest, going unbeaten in the 6A Southwest is certainly a confidence booster, and it's also the way that they got to the postseason just a couple of years ago by winning that region. They started off 0-5, then they won 5 straight games. They finished 5-5, got into the second season. And Westview, they have a very strong tradition out here. Many, many times in many years they've run the wing T. But this offense by Nick Garretts is not even a hybrid version of it. They run the wing T selectively, but they really kind of open it up. And this is an air raid offense almost anymore, isn't it?
It really is. We talked to him before the game, and he called it a little bit of a spread T or a spread wing T. But, yeah, it's
Ramses with a big hole up the middle, and Ramses going to be brought down around the 46-yard line, and that's the best return of the season for Ramses Rivera, and great blocking by that special teams unit, and great selection of holes to run through by Ramses Rivera, and he was literally a shoelace away from housing that one.
Yeah, he wasn't even going full speed. He was kind of waiting to pick his way through there and letting the block set up a little bit on that one, but a nice return there for the Rocket.
No safety help here for Ramses Rivera to the near side. Let's see if Bourne goes this way here. They run it to George Ramirez, and Ramirez has got a big hole off that right side. Talking about gashing the defense that time, Georgie Ramirez with a big hole, and Jackson Beecher comes out of that pile there, shaking up just a little bit there. So a big run there, the largest and longest run of the night by Georgie Ramirez. He just gashes off 12 yards, and for the first time tonight, Red Mountain is in Westview territory.
They're clicking now, Kevin.
First attempt for the 42-yard line. Out of the gun. This is Ramirez again, same play, and he'll run to the outside. So Georgie, very selective with his availability as a running back, and Deontay Elliott is really their bell cow. And you have to double check again because sometimes Deontay Elliott and George Ramirez look like the same guy only when they get the ball. So that could have been, I think that might have been Deontay on that last carry there. It's happened twice here tonight.
That might have been him scooting out the far side there. It looks like Red Mountains, hopefully they're going to see, once again over here, no safety help on Ramses Rivera, so maybe Hiram Bourne will look to this left side.
David Valentine is there, and they throw the pass complete over the middle. And what a great throw there by Hiram Bourne. Making the reception is the team leader in receptions. That's Jay Willie. Jared Wilson makes that catch. That's Jared Wilson's second catch of the night, and for Jay Willie, now has 20 receptions on the season. And to think just a year ago, he only had 12 balls for $134. Entering play of the night, 18 for 227, a couple of scores. Jared Wilson's having a breakout campaign. That time a gain of about 13 yards for Bourne. Out of the shotgun snap. They run it to George Ramirez. No, it is, beg your pardon, that is Deontay Elliott. And Deontay Elliott got to that second level, and they can't even bring him down. The Westview Knights will just try to stand him up. And great power on the right side by Jake Griffin and Carson Foster. And how about it for CC, Colston Cooley. You talk about road grading and just laying it down. Boy, I tell you what, Deontay and any of the backs, they've got a lot of room to run here tonight.
Yeah, outstanding zone stretch blocking up front. They're able to get up to the second levels and cut those linebackers off, and that allowed Deontay Elliott to skirt out the right-hand side for a nice little gain.
So Beecher will line up to the near side. Two wide receivers to the right of Hiram Bourne. In the slot, it's Jared Wilson. This is a running play, and losing his footing was the tailback that time. And that time, it was Ty McElroy. So T-Mac just has had a tough time getting loose. He's made a lot of impact runs for this football team. He's scored 3 touchdowns. He's got a ton of playmaking ability. He's a ferocious blocker. We don't talk enough about T-Mac and what he does for this ground game as a blocker, but it's about time he starts to get the reward and the fruits of his labor. T-Mac flanked to the left of Hiram Bourne. 2 wide receivers left, 2 wide receivers right. They run it to Beecher, makes the catch at the 19, and he's going to take it inside the 10-yard line. So a nice job there of blocking on the outside by Jared Wilson, and an excellent catch by Jackson Beecher. And we haven't seen this a lot, but Jackson Beecher showing you his after-the-catch playmaking ability right there.
A great job of spinning that one out to the near side for Hiram Bourne. A dart there to Jackson Beecher, and a nice little play up the sideline there. Excellent blocking as well from Jared Wilson there, a little stock block for Jay Willie.
Looks like Jacob Flores over there to make that tackle, a defensive lineman, 6'3", 280, getting over there on the edge there.
Split backs.
Bourne in the red zone for the first time tonight. Ball spotted on the 13-yard line. Rolls to the right side. Bourne going for the end zone. He's got Jared Wilson. He's there, and he makes the catch for a touchdown. Touchdown number 1 of the night for Hiram Bourne and the Red Mountain Lions. Touchdown number 3 on the season for Jared Wilson. A 13-yard P by Hiram Bourne. Excellent blocking up front by the right side. Once again, all led by Jake Griffin and Carson Foster.
Absolutely no penetration on that right side. That allows the quarterback, Hiram Bourne, to roll out to the right-hand side, keep his eyes down the football field the entire time, and find Jared Wilson almost in the back of the end zone for a nice 6-pointer.
Touchdown pass number 9 for Hiram Bourne, and the holder is Jared Wilson. That's a high snap, and it was a good placement by Jared Wilson, but the kick was low, and it hit the defensive lineman, and the kick is no good. So, with 1:25 to go in this opening stanza, both place kickers have missed the point after try, and we are tied here at 6 apiece.
To the outsider that would hear the score, you might think it's a field goal battle. But
right.
2 touchdowns and 2 missed extra points, and that's where we're at.
You know, I have an affinity for Arizona Christian University athletics.
Of course.
And I'm a Jeff Bowen guy. And one of the things about Westview Knights and the heritage and the history here is not talked about enough, and that is about what Jeff Bowen has done here at this program. He built this program from the ground up, and it's a great program. We talked to the coach, Coach Garrett's, about the history here and the tradition and the wing tee and what it represented and how it got so many players a chance to play this game. And it was played differently, but it was played in a winning brand of football. In fact, there's more Vascos on the way, but it's unbelievable to think they've already had one Vasco go for over 5,000 career yards. But the tradition is very rich here at Westview, and a lot of that credit belongs to Jeff Bowen.
Yeah, Jeff Bowen got it done here at the Westview High School, and a lot of Vasco kids as well coming through here. As you mentioned, Tyler Vasco, over 5,000 career yards here for the Knights. So a huge lineage of Vascos coming through here for the Westview Knights.
Definitely one 2,000-yard season. I think he had two 2,000-yard seasons a couple of years back. But the Knights went 84-37 in 10 years under head coach Jeff Bowen. 84-37. That's just remarkable. Coach Bowen, now the head coach at ACU, has coached 26 years as a high school coach, and he is 109-62. So Jeff Bowen has left an indelible mark here at Westview High. And then Joe Parker is now offensive line coach, has taken over, and he did a great job here. So it's tradition rich, and JB and Joe Parker have a lot to do with that. Vasco going to put it in the hands of the wide receiver on that sweep. It's Fuentes, and there is a host of mountain lions there to sniff that one out. Great defense there, and great team defense there by Cole Loria, and a host of mountain lion tacklers there to get on Fuentes. And you can't say enough about what Parker McClure does when he's healthy and he's on the field. It seems like he's involved in almost every single play.
Well, we talk about difference makers, and Parker McClure is definitely one of those difference makers for Red Mountain. He's always making plays for the defense, and he seems to always be in the right position at the right time and with his head on a swivel.
Belay Nelson lines up in the slot. They run it again to Fuentes. Gets through the first wave of tacklers, and then he tries to stretch it to the 40-yard line. And it looked like Jake Griffin got a hand in on that one. And if it wasn't Jake Griffin, it was Trey the Truth Smith. One of those guys was down there. I think it was on the edge. That's Trey Smith. And for Trey, he continues to have an outstanding season. Tackle number 30 for him. He has 6 TFLs. He has 5 sacks, and that leads the 6A conference. And a 6-6 tie with 16 seconds to go in this ball game. Vasco looking at the Longines scoreboard. It appears that Westview is content, and they'll let this first quarter expire in a 6-6 tie. And Vasco will look back at the referee. He will hustle off the field, and that is exactly what will happen. We will go to the second quarter in a 6-6 tie. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network.
Bro.
We join you back from Westview High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. They changed end zones, now working right to left for the Westview Knights. And Nico Vasco, 3rd and 5 from the 40-yard line. Mountain Lions showing blitz. Here they come. Vasco over the middle, it's incomplete. He had a lot of pressure over the middle, no penalty flags on. Jacob Griffin was in the area, and Jacob Griffin applying the pressure. Give him another hurry, huh?
Outstanding job, Jacob Griffin. And how about in the middle there, number 48, Major Kelly showing blitz and getting through there. Low man wins. He knifes right through there and disrupts things in the backfield. Excellent job, young man.
Excellent is right. So here comes the punter. This is Christian Mala, 6'1", 170. He's a junior. Jared Wilson hasn't had a lot of opportunity returning punts this season. He stands at the 30-yard line. 6-6 tie, 11:56 to go. The punt's blocked again by George Ramirez. For Ramirez, his third block punt this season. How about Georgie Ramirez, Niner, eating here in Avondale?
Having a bite to eat, Kevin. An outstanding job. The guy, what else can he do? I mean, we've talked about it all season. We talked about it all season last year. The kid can just flat out play football.
He is tremendous. Another punt block. That's his third block punt. 6A Conference Defensive Player of the Year. I mentioned week 2. Wow.
And let's be honest about it. 5'10", 180 at the 6A level.
Remarkable. 3 wide receivers now for Hiram Bourne. Shotgun snap. Throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Just behind. It looked like it was the tight end Gage Skidmore, and he took a pop. Laying the lick for the Westview Knights was Robert Espinosa, 5'11", 170. And I will say this, he took a shot at the big Gage Skidmore, but that pass was just a little bit behind Gage Skidmore.
And that shot was a little bit behind as well. It was a tad bit late there, but real close, real close.
Clock stopped at 11:47 to go till halftime. 6-6 tie, 2nd and 10 from the 29-yard line of Westview. Hiram Bourne out of the shotgun formation. Gives the ball to Elliott. Patiently waits to the 30. Looking for some help, and he's not going to get the help. That time Westview did a nice job of staying home, reading their keys, and they were able to get and hang on to Deontay Elliott, and that does not happen very often.
It does not. There's a certain point there when Deontay gets on the edge. He tries to use a little bit of patience there, trying to find that hole, but sometimes you got to hit the jets and try to make a little bit more happen there.
And this guy right here, 79, making plays. This guy gets to the edge. Jacob Flores, we talked about him already. 6'3", 280 as a junior. He's going to be a good one.
And he can move.
3rd and 10 from the 30. Play fake from Bourne. Under pressure, he fires over the middle of the field, and the ball's incomplete. He had a wide open Jared Wilson, and now you can see Hiram Bourne pressing just a little bit here. He was 5 of 10 for 81 yards and a pair of touchdowns last week, but it's that 5 of 10 that they want to see some improvement. 50% passer. That's not bad in a game that he played seldom, but here it is. It's an opportunity for the Mountain Lions here on a 4th down, and we'll call it about 4th and 12 from the 30-yard line. They need the 20-yard line to gain. Bourne takes the snap, looks left, moves right, throws over the field, and it's incomplete. Penalty marker comes in. Daniel Butler was the intended target, and you talk about getting knocked off your route. Daniel Butler just got knocked off his route, and it looks like he's going to be the beneficiary of an unsportsmanlike penalty, or at least pass interference, if nothing else.
That'll be good for 15 yards and a Red Mountain first down there. A little bit of contact early on that one there. Daniel Butler trying to sit down and make that reception, but he got the call, and they should get the first down here.
James, take it through us. In your days of playing football, they talk about settling down and just being poised, and Hiram has played with a ton of poise all season long. Last couple of games, it seems like he's come out, and maybe he's trying to do too much, but how difficult is it as a quarterback to just calm your nerves, set your feet, just make a throw?
Well, it's very difficult because you got pressure coming from your coaches. You know, they're trying to bark out signals to you, and they're trying to subtly fix things as the game's going on without trying to coach you up too much and confuse you. So, whole lot of moving parts.
Bourne takes the snap, rolls to the near side. He throws on the run. The ball's caught on the near boundary, making the reception for Red Mountain. Looked like it was Drake Bourne, and it was Drake Bourne. That's his second catch.
He was out of bounds.
So the line judge immediately says no go. I believe.
You got to hand it to Westview. They came to play tonight, Kevin.
Bourne his second varsity catch is waved off. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the 15-yard line. Ramses Rivera lines up to the near side. They got the skinny post if they want it. They go outside. It's caught by McElroy. And Ty McElroy tries to get out of Westview night tacklers, and he can't go anywhere. Great pressure by Westview. And it was 55 there in on the play. Miguel Gonzalez, a sophomore, 6'1", 235, and that's something that Coach Garrett's told us about, is about this youth on defense. He said, hey, give him some time. He's got some players that just need to play and grow and develop, and he's one of those guys, Mr. Gonzalez.
Well, he did a great job in pass coverage that time. I was watching that through the Bushnells, and that was nearly picked off. It went right through his hands, and somehow Ty McElroy was able to come up with it.
Knight showing blitz. Shotgun snap for Hiram Bourne. Scrambles to the near side. He's going to turn the corner. He throws on the run. The ball is caught in the end zone for a touchdown. What a catch.
Who else?
Georgie Ramirez on the receiving end of that one. Again, you got to be absolutely sure with Deontay Elliott and Georgie Ramirez, but Georgie Ramirez with a receiving touchdown, his first receiving touchdown of the year, and Georgie Ramirez has scored back-to-back touchdowns on the offensive end in the last 2 weeks.
An outstanding job in the corner of the end zone there for Georgie Ramirez, but let's rewind a little bit. How about that throw from Hiram Bourne?
Off the back foot on the boundary. A beautiful spiral to only Georgie Ramirez could make the play on it, and Georgie did. Touchdown pass number 10 for Hiram Bourne as Connor Gardner gets this one up and through. 10:03 remaining in this second quarter from Westview High School in Avondale. Red Mountain's gone up in front for the first time tonight. Our new score, Red Mountain 13, Westview 6.
Now an inexperienced quarterback throws that a little bit short, and it's picked off about 9 out of 10 throws. But Hiram Bourne, a great veteran throw to the back of the end zone where, like you said, nobody else was going to catch it if his guy didn't.
A great veteran throw by a quarterback that started his 5th game here tonight.
Impressive.
Simply remarkable for the 3-1 Red Mountain Lions. In fact, going back to that play, James, I've seen a lot of NFL quarterbacks take that same play and throw it out of the back of the end zone, let alone try to fit one in that window. And George Ramirez, again, his presence of mind to continue to work with the quarterback, his presence of mind to know where he is on the field. His field presence is simply amazing. Number 9, Georgie Ramirez.
We're going to be watching him for a long time, Kev. You know, we had the pleasure of watching Lance Lawson here at Red Mountain, and now he's really coming on at Southern Utah. I believe he got player of the game last week.
He did.
Or one of the players of the game. So it's so cool to see the kids go and be successful at the next level, and George Ramirez is going to be another one of those guys that we're going to be watching for a while.
Yeah, he's extraordinary. And that touchdown by George Ramirez was all set up by the block punt by Georgie Ramirez. Yeah. So it's been the Georgie Ramirez first half here. In fact, you can
They're
make an
selling
argument.
number 9 jerseys down there now. People are walking around selling them here in the crowd.
They're going to be sold out here at the break.
Man.
One thing that we talked about on the Lions Den program, Josiah Villanueva, kind of a breakout performance for him, the sophomore, couple of touchdowns. He was the Lions Den, the Parker & Sons Varsity Player of the Week, but you could easily give him that award to Georgie Ramirez last week, or that recognition. Been there, done that, but yeah, Georgie is just so much fun to watch on Friday night. And you talk about L2, Lance Lawson, he had a nice long touchdown run, and he gave the defensive back that patented L2 shoulder dance, that juju, and boy, he took one in the end zone. In fact, I had to take a listen to the play-by-play call on that one too. And I wonder if they know what they got in Lance Lawson with Southern Utah, because that young man is such a talented player. David Lawson, his pops, a great family. Of course, Lennox Lawson now running up and down the field for Coach Leo Aviles and the freshman squad. Red Mountain football, as we've talked about throughout 5 games now, they've got an excellent program under tremendous leadership in Mike Peterson now in his 3rd year. And this program that Jim Jones built a few years back is poised, and they're looking to knock down that championship opportunity sometime in the very near future.
This could be the year, Kevin. They're knocking on the door. They've been right there the past couple of years.
Laven Santalon, an all-region first-teamer, is the left guard. So this time, encroachment called against Mike Peterson's defense. That's Kyle Anders group. For Red Mountain, they picked up the shutout last week. That was the third shutout since Mike Peterson has taken over the helm from Ron Wisniewski. And, of course, his defense is coached up, and his lead coordinator is Kyle Enders. 13-6 here on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. And George Ramirez out there on the field defensively. Mike Peterson all over one of his coaches, or perhaps the line judge over here, but Coach Pete none too pleased right here at the 10:03 mark of the second stanza. 7-point ball game. Bosco back to throw from the pocket, looking to go deep on the far side, and the ball's incomplete. Here comes the penalty marker, comes in. Cole Shivers on the call, on the coverage. Giovanni Costanati.
That was great coverage, Kevin. That was great coverage. Cole Shivers had inside position on the receiver exactly like he's supposed to, and the ball was a little bit high. Catchable, yes, but that was great coverage.
Sometimes I like to take a look at the defensive coaches and just get a feel for their body language on whether or not that was a good call or a call that they didn't necessarily agree with. I agree with you, JP. It looked like Shivers had great position, and I think the ball was not even catchable, but Isaac Hall, you got to be careful with him. 6'3", 180. He's got some speed to the outside. He's got some great hands. That's a tremendous matchup for Shivers, but I thought he held his own right there.
Well, he did, but that's a learned skill, too, for those wide receivers to try to learn how to draw those calls when they need to.
Nico, design run, turns the corner at the 40 to the 43-yard line. Is going to be, gets his legs cut out from underneath him right there. Major Kelly over there in the area defensively. Major Kelly has really come on as a defensive player for Mike Peterson. And it's nice because he's a coach's son. Of course, his dad, Matt, coaches the defensive line. Just a great coach and a good man in the realm of people. So Vasco with a 3-yard run. Now he wants to throw this time. From the pocket, throws outside again, and this time a little miscommunication with his wide receiver. Nobody home that time. Great coverage there by Cole Shivers, and even Major Kelly points out to the young freshman, hey, nice job, and that's a good spot to be in. Trying to get the ball back in the hands of his go-to wide receiver. Again, as Isaac Hall. He's been targeted about 5 times here tonight. I think he's still looking for his first reception.
Yeah, he tried to get that one there. I think a little miscommunication. As you said, he was running the in, and Nico Vasco was throwing the out that time.
Lining up on the near side is Jonathan Chacon, working out of the pistol. In a 3 wide receiver package, it's Nico Vasco. They set up a screen to the backside and make the reception, and making the man miss and then trying to get across the 50-yard line into Red Mountain territory was Fuentes. So Fuentes is really difficult to see. We mentioned his size. Dominic Fuentes, 5'6", 150. That young man kind of gets lost behind all those big linemen there, and this time he got lost long enough for the Knights to commit an infraction here, and this penalty is going against Westview. So right now, the Mountain Lions got things going in the right direction.
Yeah, what happened there, number 77, Jamira Lowry, was on the outside trying to get a pancake block there on 48, Major Kelly, and a little bit too much syrup on that pancake block because he got a call for a hold on that one. Probably had his hands outside and kind of got him scooped a little bit.
Another guy on that front providing a lot of beef, Sebastian Alvarez, 6'3", 230. He's just a junior. So the parts are in place here for Nick Garrett, no doubt about it. 13-6 our score, clock stopped at 9:09. Moscow back to throw. From the pocket, delivers, and it's incomplete. Major Kelly might have been part of the reason that pass went errant. Bosco with some good mustard on that one, looking for Belay Nelson, the tight end, 6'4", 180, and had Belay made that reception, or at least got his hands on it, he might have been blown up there by Major Kelly as Kelly applied a pretty good lick at the same time the ball was coming in. I think he had a lot to do with why that play didn't happen for Bosco.
That is exactly right, Kevin. He might have heard footsteps there, and Kelly still got a shot in there, even though no reception, but he really would have got tattooed if he'd have still held up just long enough to catch that football.
Mala from the 35-yard line. No block put on this time by Georgia Ramirez and the special teams unit. Punt goes straight up in the air, takes a Red Mountain bounce around the 49-yard line. It's going to carry him back the other direction, be touchdown on the 39-yard line, and that's where Westview will give up the rock. It was Stone Donahue.
Wow.
To touch that one down. In fact, you think of the name Donahue and you go to Westview football, you think about his brother Jordan Donahue. In fact, we talked about that new segment that we will unveil here soon enough, but it is derived from a movie line, and the real sentiment is we'll take a look in the rear view mirror. The rear view mirror. So we've got some great stuff that we can talk about Red Mountain football that's in the rear view mirror. All right, there's Georgie. Gets the handoff at the 40, makes a move to the outside. Penalty marker comes in, and Elliott nowhere to go that time because Jacob Flores is all over that play. Jacob Flores, for a man of his size, he can get up and down the field, and he plays side to side.
But he's only a junior, Kevin.
He's a junior. That time the offensive line broke down the left side. Ben Bray, Isaiah Artis there, but, of course, they probably vacated the premises with that offensive line and some pulling guards and tackles coming over there. So breakdown offensively for Red Mountain. And Deontay Elliott was in no man's land there, and Jacob Flores just cleaned him up.
Nowhere to go. Flores doing a great job running up and down the line of scrimmage tonight for Westview. And they can't block him a lot of times up front there.
So our referee indicates there's been a foul assessed to Red Mountain. That was Bob Ferreira. So they'll push Red Mountain back. Now they'll be set up with a 1st and 22 from the 47-yard line of the Westview Knights. And a full wide receiver set for Hiram Bourne. They run the football, the Ty McElroy, big hole, 50, 45. Bounce to the outside, and he's going to be tripped up around the 43-yard line. Excellent open field tackle that time by the Westview Knights. Elijah Hall over there, and a fine play for Hall. Hall, 9 tackles on the season. Give him 10 now. He has 2 TFLs, and that was textbook on Ty McElroy. A powerful run. It's good to see T-Mac getting loose. He just carved off 10 yards right there.
Well, Chris Andriatis and Taylor Lamar, offensive coordinators for Red Mountain, spreading the field that time. They had Deontay Elliott and Rocket to the near side, and then they ran into T-Mac off tackle. A nice play.
That same combination is there again. They try to get those guys to block for Ty McElroy. Ty McElroy tries to spin out of a tackle, and they'll just lower those pads and keep driving those legs towards the 40-yard line. And you talk about teamwork, great football teamwork right there. The play is designed to go to Ty McElroy, and you've got blockers on the edge. Deontay Elliott and Ramses Rivera. That's just unselfish football play there, and a credit to Coach Mendenhall as he continues to develop those wide receivers. And you pointed out quite a bit, JP, our wide receivers are some of the best in the 6A conference at continuing to block down the field and make it easier for our running backs.
When I was coaching at Phoenix Christian High School, we had a guy come in, one of the parents come into film session one Saturday. I'll finish the story in a minute.
Trips to the wide side. Bourne back to throw, looking for Rivera. He's there, and the ball is just overthrown a minute. Just by an absolute skosh did they miss on Hiram Bourne's throw to Ramses Rivera. And for Rivera, when the ball went up, he wasn't looking for the football there. So it just seemed like their timing is off just a little bit tonight for this passing duo of Hiram Bourne and Ramses Rivera.
Yeah, that was a pretty well-thrown football, especially in the double coverage that time. But Rocket unable to come up with that one.
You could tell by the body language, Hiram Bourne, he is not very happy with how things have gone here in this first half. It's 13-6 Mount Lions. They've come from behind here. Westview took the first score of the game.
Well, you mentioned Red Mountain, the #1 scoring offense in the 6A, and Hiram Bourne's got to be a little frustrated right now that with 7:16 remaining here in the first half, they only got 13 points on the board.
It's a team that puts up 50.5 points a ball game through 4. And that number is a little bit misleading because you've got a couple of defensive touchdowns in there from Georgia Ramirez, of course, the pick 6. Last week he had a block punt return for a touchdown, the scoop and score. And now we have Coach Mendenhall down here on the other end having a one-on-one conversation with Ramses Rivera. It's always important to keep everybody in tune and keep everybody on the same page. But it's a team sport, and right now, all 11 guys on offense are not singing the same tune right now. So they'll have a chance to get the choir together here and start working on some things here.
Well, they'll definitely get that going at halftime. Red Mountain, one of the best teams at making those halftime adjustments.
So this is a 4th down play. They put Georgia Ramirez in the Cardinal package, and Westview jumped offside, so encroachment for the Westview Knights. And it's interesting play selection here. They're running with a Cardinal package. So Georgie can throw the football out of this position. He's the quarterback on the play. Beecher to the far side. Jared Wilson is in the slot. He's got Daniel Butler to the near side. It's Georgie Ramirez, the quarterback. Georgie is going to stop and throw the ball down the field, and the ball is going to be incomplete. There were all kinds of receivers open that went down the field. Jackson Beecher was all by himself. No one within 10 yards from him. The pass was thrown to Jared Wilson. It's incomplete. And that particular series, Jacob Fords was just a wrecking ball. He just disrupted the entire sequence for the Westview Knights.
He might have gotten a finger or maybe even a hand on that one there on the far side too, Kevin. That ball looked like it might have gotten tipped by somebody because it changed trajectory there just a little bit after it was thrown there by George on the far side.
A lot of times they like to use the line. Sometimes they try to get a little too cute. And the Red Mountain offense got a little too cute right there on that particular play. I like to see him throw the ball down the field or at least cough and corner one up, set up your defense. I didn't really like that particular call. But here we go. It's 13-6, 7-10 to go. It's Vasco back on the field. He's got a man in motion. And it's Vasco on a play fake. He's going to run up the middle, and he gets past that first wave of tacklers, gets the 40-yard line. It's going to be dropped right there. Skylar Edmonds was there defensively for Red Mountain. And for Nico Vasco, he just carved off a 5-yard run. And Vasco, last week, in that 68-7 triumph over Alhambra, Vasco had 313 total yards. He went through 188 and 3 scores through the air, and then he had 4 carries, a $125, and 2 touchdowns on the ground. His first 100-yard game of the season last week at the quarterback position. Major Kelly showing blitz, backs out of it. Vasco takes the snap to the 40, 43-yard line, and they're going to stonewall him right there. He got stonewalled at the 43.5-yard line, and a nice job there by Major Kelly and friends as they are all over that. Cole Loria also there. And interesting to watch Cole Shivers look at his armband, look at the plays, and just watch the freshman develop. Now only playing his 5th game. He started week 1 against Desert Ridge. And you know teams are going to test him. And as a freshman, that young man has really more than held his own, developing and learning on the fly.
Yeah, he's doing a great job back there, as you mentioned, learning on the fly and just kind of going with the flow here. But he's really maturing right before our eyes, and it's great to see him making plays for Red Mountain. And this is a big third down here.
Big third down for Westview, lining up on the near side. It's Belay Nelson. Vasco's the quarterback. 2 wide receivers to the Y side. There goes Martinez in motion. Vasco, shotgun snap. Looks like he wants to run it. He's got blockers in front of him. Vasco is going to be short of the first down. Looked like Georgia Ramirez was over there to finish up the play. And Parker McClure also over there to be very disruptive because 30 is just that. He's a disruptive force out of that Mike backer spot, Parker McClure.
Well, credit to the Red Mountain coaching staff. They got these guys on excellent pursuit angles here tonight, and they're able to stretch it out to the wide side, and not a whole lot there for Westview.
It's all about the point of contact. It's all about a hat on a hat. The blocking is critical. Isaac Hall lines up to the near side. Daniel Butler will draw the defensive assignment on him. Red Mountain showing blitz. There goes Martinez in motion. Low snap for Vasco. Wants to throw from the pocket. Throws outside. The ball's caught. And making the reception for the first down, it looked like Westview. Major Kelly over there. Belay Nelson makes the reception, and Major Kelly out of that linebacker spot over there hustling to the boundary, gets the tackle, but not before a 7-yard completion is made to Belay Nelson.
Well, that was a great play call there for the Westview Knights. They had edge pressure on for Red Mountain. Coming off the edge that time, Trey Smith from the near side, and he had to flush Nico Vasco out of the pocket really quick there, but he was able to hit the check down really quick and pick up that first down.
So give Trey the Truth Smith another hurry to go along with his 5 sacks. We mentioned those 5 sacks lead the 6A conference. 1st and 10 for the Mountain Line, 41-yard line. Vasco again takes the snap, goes up the middle. There he goes, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Nico Vasco, 41 yards to the house, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, and the Westview Knights are a point after try from taking the lead here in the 2nd quarter with 4:29 to go.
Your thoughts, Kevin?
I'm surprised, but I will say that Nico Vasco is a playmaker. He's come in with impressive numbers, and when you can get behind that offensive line and you got guys out there knocking people over and blocking for you as well as they did there, that's fantastic football. You have to doff your cap.
Indeed. They got some great offensive line play up front, and Vasco able to just kind of put his back on one of his offensive linemen that time, put his hand up there, and just ride that guy almost all the way to the end zone.
So Nico Vasco is halfway on his way to his back-to-back 100-yard rushing performances. He has 2 touchdowns. Tonight he has doubled his touchdown totals on the ground with 4. So Nico Vasco is giving this Red Mountain defense some fits. And you don't want to look too far ahead, but this could be a trap game as far as just for conversation for the pundits to talk about. It's not a trap game any way, shape, or form. Red Mountain knows that. But when you look at the schedule next week, the Basha Bears will be the opponent out of the Premier Region, unbeaten Basha at 4-0, and they are taking on Highland tonight, so that'll be an interesting game for us as we prepare for next week. But Red Mountain has their hands full here with the Westview Knights and Nico Vasco.
Well, they got to take care of Westview here, and I tell you, the wind has come out of the sails, if you can't tell, here on the Red Mountain sideline. So somebody's going to have to put a spark back in this football team and get them going, especially on offense.
I will say this about the wind. There is no wind here tonight at all, but the weather is pleasant.
It's nice not to be sweating to death.
It's just pleasant. Yeah, Phoenix, Arizona. We're in Avondale tonight. So it looks like Vasco wants to go for 2. He'll split them out 2 to the near side. Vasco's going to run it again to the 5, and he's close to the goal line to see if he's got it. The 2-point conversion is successful. The second 2-point conversion of the year for the Westview Knights. This one goes to Nico Vasco. So Vasco has all 14 points for the Westview Knights. They now lead it 14-13, and you have to like that call by Nick Garrett. It's early in the ball game, but they went and got that point that they missed on the botched point after try, and they got it back right there on the 2-point conversion. And right now, there's been some cause for concern for Kyle Ender's defense. They can't stop Nico Vasco right now.
Yeah, he's a problem for sure. It's something that they're going to have to address in the locker room at halftime. And that right side right now for the offensive line of Westview is getting a push. And Coach Garrett's just rode that the entire drive that last time, and it paid dividends at the end there with the Tyler Vasco touchdown. The Nico Vasco touchdown.
You ask about Vasco and my thoughts on that young man. I will tell you where I was misled on his ability is his speed. He's got a lot more speed than I thought that he had, and he just ran away from Red Mountain defenders on that particular play. Wow.
The Jets.
Nico
He's quick.
Vasco. It's 14-13. You think this Westview Knight crowd would be rocking and rolling, but once again, here on Friday Night Lights, you'd think we were at Chase Field. It's just like a morgue in here, and unfortunately, it's a high school football game as the Red Mountain crowd has a little bit silence here out of the play of Nico Vasco. So here comes the kicker, and that is Mala. Puts this one end over end. It's Rivera inside his own 15. Rivera looking for a block at the 30. Down the sideline to the 40. And Rivera takes on the kicker and just lowers his shoulder. And you talk about a collision. Ramses Rivera, the Rocket, going one-on-one with Christian Mala. And that was a collision. And how about it for Ramses Rivera showing you his toughness on that return there. Fire up the club, huh?
What's the timestamp on that? I can't wait to go watch that one again later, Kevin. That was an outstanding job there. Credit to Rocket to lower his headgear that time. He was heading up the sideline. He was not going to slow down. And then he lowered the boom there about the 49-yard line, and wow, what a hit.
And I will say this about Christian Mall, the kicker. He took on that
He did.
And at 6'1", 170, let's play football, huh? 14-13. Bourne with the carry to the 50 in open space, 45. 40, and into Westview territory around the 30-yard line. There's a player shaken up for the Westview Knights, and he appears to be in some great discomfort holding his right leg. That is the Westview Knights. It appears to be 50. Christopher Ortiz will double-check the number, but he is writhing in pain, holding his right knee. But Hiram Bourne, his longest run of the night. And for Hiram, unofficially a 26-yard gallop right there, splitting the defense, getting in that secondary, And, boy, when Hiram's in that secondary, it seems like for any defensive player, it's like this free reign on Hiram Bourne. He's a running-type quarterback, but golly, the franchise takes a lot of pops, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He takes the pop, but he can take them, but you don't want to give him too many of them. But what an outstanding misdirection play there. They had me fooled. I thought Deontay Elliott had the football for about half a second, then I look, and it's Hiram Bourne going out right up the middle. Outstanding.
The execution of a play fake, it's kind of lost. You know, you always look at the result of the play, but the execution of the play fake gives you the result of the play. And I think Red Mountain, those guys do an outstanding job of the play fakes, and they've done a great job with that as long as I've been a part of Red Mountain football, even go back to the Wiz days.
Well, I remember even last weekend watching some college and some pro ball, a lot of the commentators talking about, you know, if I can tell young players anything, it's carry out your fakes. Carry out the fakes. Do what the coach tells you to do because it really does make a difference on the field.
James, that's a good sign right there for Christopher Ortiz, the sophomore at 6 foot 200, up and walking off the field under his own power. So that's great. You know, I got the sense talking to Coach Nick Garretts before the game that, you know, he was a young coach that's passionate about his position, but was going to continue to lead his guys, but he wanted to lead his guys a certain way, an integral-based way, the right way, and he's not going to tolerate any nonsense for the parents or the fans that want to spread ill will or talk negatively about his coaching or his football team. It gets down to your kids, and it tends to manifest itself, and it's out of control. And so when your kids know that their dad's a head coach and that people talk about, hey, is your dad going to be the coach, or they're going to fire the coach, and that gets to a little kid, and a little kid asks his dad, like, what's going on here? That's emotional. That's heavy duty. Shouldn't be right. Shouldn't have it. Bourne with time, rolls to the near side again, turns the corner, up the sideline, and is going to be knocked out of bounds again. Great tackle there on the open field by the Westview. That is Cameron Granado. For Granado, his 11th tackle of the season. And we talk about Westview's technique. They are very good at tackling. A lot of our guys are having their legs taken out. And once they do, they're still moving. They're an athletic group. Look, these tacklers are jumping on boxes as they're getting hit.
Well, you talk about the lost art of the play fake. How about the lost art of the form tackle, Kevin? and Westview's doing a great job. You know, that's exactly what you want to do. You got to get the guy around the legs. You can't tackle him high, especially these guys that are big, and they'll squirt right out of that.
This is Deontay Elliott with a jump cut up the middle, still on his feet, lowering the shoulder, and just driving those legs up the middle is Deontay Elliott. In fact, Deontay Elliott still on his feet. They didn't actually bring Deontay to the ground. And we talk about that ability to make the first man miss.
And the PA guy calls George Ramirez on the run.
Deontay Elliott, his ability to jump cut is second to none. We've seen a lot of great backs, and even Lance Lawson in that category, L2. But Deontay Elliott, his jump cutting ability is just outstanding. He comes off the field here. Ty McElroy checks in. He's flanked to the right of Hiram Bourne. They put it in the hands of Bourne. Bourne turns the corner, 10, 5, and he's upended again. Another great tackle by the Westview Knights. This time it's Elijah Hall, his third tackle of the night, and going airborne again was number 7, Hiram Bourne, the quarterback.
You know I love Hiram Bourne, right? But you got to stop leaving your feet like that. You are going to get seriously injured if you keep doing that. I know you want to get extra yards for the team, and maybe the ref might be telling them the same thing right now, but you got to be careful with that because you're hanging yourself out to dry on that kind of play.
Well, we talked about it last week. He left his feet in the center of the field and darn near got helicoptered. Someone try to strip my binoculars here. Ball's on the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal to go for Hiram Bourne in the Red Mountain Lions. Knocking on the door once again. Bourne out of the shotgun. Throws a pass, and it is caught for the touchdown. Georgie Ramirez, his 2nd receiving touchdown of the night.
Nice job, Georgie. Excellent job. And that was a dart right there for Hiram Bourne. He had to make a quick decision there. Everybody else was covered. He found Georgie streaking across the front of the end zone and laid it in there.
Excellent read by the quarterback, Hiram Bourne, and a precision pass right on the money. Very low trajectory. Great pass catch by George Ramirez as he rolled over and secured that football for his 2nd touchdown of the night for George Ramirez.
2 minutes and 13 seconds remaining now here, Kevin. If you're Red Mountain, you want to play some good defense, maybe try to get that football back and put a couple more points on the board here before the half.
Red Mountain elects to go for 2. Bourne, the quarterback, he's got Ty McElroy to his left. Trips to the near side. There goes T-Mac in motion. Empty set now for Boren. Looking right all the way. Has time, fires towards the end zone. The ball's caught. Did the ball cross the plane on the goal line? You bet it did. That's a 2-point conversion by Jackson Beecher. Excellent target right there by JB. And again, a lot of zip on that football by Hiram Boren. And it takes Hiram a little bit of time to get going. But once Hiram gets going and he plays relaxed, he's such a different quarterback.
Yeah, once he's able to settle down, set his feet, and he's already got the rocket arm. And a big target, number 8, Jackson Beecher, the senior, 6'3", 180 pounds, and he just found him open and threw him the football.
So Red Mountain answers the Westview Knight 41-yard touchdown by Nico Vasco with a touchdown of their own. And that was all set up by a great return by Ramses Rivera and a little bit of the juice in the mojo that was lost for a second. Old Uncle Mo is back on the side of Mike Peterson's football team here with 2:13 to go to the break.
Yeah, now they got to keep it that way. Like I said before, they need to play some defense here, get that football back. Don't let Westview get any score or any kind of life here before the half, and then go in, make your halftime adjustments, and come out here in the second half and really get it going.
Jackson Beecher, 6'3", 180. Ran a 9 route already tonight. Great job of catching the football, breaking the plane of the goal line there for that 2-point conversion. He has a chance to be a good one, just a junior, and you know he's going to continue to work on his speed, but Jackson Beecher, one to watch to say the least. So here comes Connor Gardner from the 40. High, deep, end over end. It'll be taken by the Knights on the 5-yard line to the 10, 15, 20, and lassoed and thrown out of bounds there on 40. I think that's Blake Stahl making the special teams tackle. We'll call it Bryce Stahl. Bryce Stahl with an excellent tackle right there on the return man.
He was the first one to make contact there on the far side of the football field. Did a nice job wrapping him up. The ball carrier tried to run out of the tackle, but a nice job holding on for dear life there and securing the tackle.
21-14 ball game here from Avondale, Arizona on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network. Nico Vasco will take his troops back out onto the field. You look at his wide receiver, Bolay Nelson, 6'4", 180. He's a tight end listed, but he's lined up there in the slot. So Vasco takes the shotgun snap on a play fake, throws down the field, and the ball's caught at the 40. Spinning out of a tackle and taking it into Red Mountain territory was the wide receiver. That time it's Isaac Hall, and there to prevent any more damage, looked like it was Skylar Edmonds back there for Red Mountain. So he makes a big-time play in the secondary, but you saw Nico Vasco show you some patience there at the quarterback position, throw it over the line of scrimmage, and he found his target, Isaac Hall, his first catch of the night. That goes for big play.
Yeah, Vasco had great protection that time, able to set his feet, let the play develop, and find the open receiver.
Unofficially, a 21-yard pass play. This is a run up the middle, and looks like it was Jacob Martinez. He is very fleet of foot also. No, it's Fuentes that time. Dominic Fuentes, a wide receiver. They need to update the chart here on Max Preps and put an RB right next to his name because he's playing both spots here tonight. Lining up to the near side at wide receiver for Nico Vasco is Vidal Wilson. Wilson had 3 carries for 37 yards last week. Vasco from the 50 throws down the sideline. The ball's incomplete. And it looked like the wide receiver got tripped up. And if I had to guess, JP, I'd say that he got tripped up on his own feet.
Yep.
And the back judge threw a penalty marker in from about 20 yards away. He was 20 yards away from the play, and the runner, literally the wide receiver, got tangled up with his own feet, and they're going to call that a 15-yard penalty against Red Mountain. That's just tough luck.
No need to guess there, Kevin. No need to guess.
That's just tough luck right there.
That's going to be bad call, official bad call number 2 of the night.
For Westview, 8-3 a season ago, we mentioned that they had a first-round defeat to Liberty in the opening round of the 6A state championship tournament. They were 4-1 here at home a season ago. So Westview plays a winning brand of football here in Avondale. So Vasco will set up on the 34-yard line of Red Mountain. Coach Ender's defense has to stiffen up here. Now they get the whistle, and they're ready to put the ball in play. Vasco back to throw from the pocket. Again, going to the far sideline. The ball is nearly intercepted by Daniel Butler. That ball was nearly picked off. That ball was underthrown. Going for Isaac Hall, and again, and Daniel Butler, who already has one interception this season, was right in the middle of that one, and darn near intercepted that one right there. That ball was clearly underthrown, but the Beast had a chance to catch that one. If nothing else, give him a PD, a pass defended right there.
Great job there that time. He had inside position, able to use a little bit of inside leverage there and wall off that receiver. Excellent job.
Demaria Lowry, 6'3", 260 on that far side. Vasco from the pocket. He's pressured, and he darn near got sacked. 88, Trey the Truth Smith, all over that. Give Trey Smith another hurry, and boy, did he pressure Nico Vasco, and when that pressure comes in, it just speeds everything up, and that throw was just too hot to handle when it was in the ground.
Yeah, Vasco couldn't quite decide if he wanted to throw that one or tuck it and run, and tried to dump it off there at the last second.
Pressure. That's what you call pressure. So Vasco again out of the pistol. He's got Martinez flanked to his right. Back to throw, looking left from the pocket with time, throws, and it's complete. Making a reception is Isaac Hall, and Isaac Hall is going to take it into the touchdown after he breaks a couple of tackles.
Wow, what a play that time. He ran almost out of his jersey there, Kevin, right down the seam and into the end zone for a touchdown. What an effort.
Nico Vasco, a 32-yard strike on a post over the middle of the field, and Isaac Hall breaking tacklers and shedding tacklers, takes it into the end zone as Red Mountain was just trying to hang on for dear life and grab him by the shirt tail. Nonetheless, Isaac Hall in the end zone for his 6th time this season, and the Knights are a point after try away from tying this ball game up. And this kick is blocked by Cole Shivers. So the point after try is blocked by Cole Shivers with 64 seconds to go to halftime. Our score, Red Mountain 21, Westview 20. And we've got ourselves a dandy ball game here, JP.
Yeah, this is a good one. 21-20 right now. 1 point separates these two teams. And obviously both of them are going to go into the locker room here shortly at halftime. 1 minute, 4 seconds remaining here in the first half. And this is setting up to be a dandy second half.
JP, it's easy for us to go to the 3 phases. But when you talk about the 3 phases of a football game, the phase that's taken all the accolades tonight has got to be the special teams. You've got a block punt by Georgia Ramirez. Cole Shivers a block PAT. And then that great return by Ramses Rivera on the answer after a touchdown run. The special teams is really stepping up tonight here. And it's the one unit that doesn't have a full-time head coach. All the coaches coach the special teams.
That could have something to do with why they're doing really well, because it's a balance between all the coaches, and they're able to effectively, get the mission across to the kids. And let's face it, the special teams for Red Mountain has kept them in this football game right now.
You kind of get the feeling that Ramses Rivera has a chance to return one tonight. He's had a couple of really solid returns here. So it'll be Christian Mala on to kick for the Knights. Back deep is Butler and Rivera, and they don't have anything to do with it. Oh, no, that's unbelievable. Wow. The Westview Knights, instead of the deep kick, they kicked a line drive to the up back. It hit the up back. I don't know who it was.
Wow.
It might have been Boren, but I don't know. It could have been a Drake Boren. But either way, it's a botched return by Red Mountain, and the Westview Knights are going to have the football back with 1 minute and 4 seconds to go till halftime. They trail by a point, and they got the football right back. So their special teams makes a play here, a turnover for the Mountain Lions.
Critical play there for Westview, and it was indeed Drake Bourne that time, because I noticed his brother Hiram there giving him a little love on the sideline. That was really nice to see, saying, hey, you know what, shake it off, brother, and get the next one.
So Vasco right back on the field. Back to throw with time for the pocket. Again, going deep, and there's nobody home. There's nobody home because Cole Shivers was locked up with the wide receiver that time, Isaac Hall. Again, the freshman taking on the very athletic Isaac Hall, 6'3", 180. We've already talked about his success before now, and he is a talented wide receiver, their big play guy, their leading guy, and reception and yardage. And right now, Cole Shivers is going toe-to-toe with this young man.
Yeah, he's staying right there with him, and an excellent job in coverage that time for the Red Mountain Mountain Lions.
David Valentine lines up to the near side. Daniel Butler would defend him. Red Mountain showing blitz. Here they come. And they get to Vasco, and the pass is on the outside. It's broken up. Shivers there, growing confidence on Isaac Hall. If Shivers got a hand on that, that is fantastic defense. I think he got a pass defended on that, but there was more pressure coming up front on that right side, and I think Trey Smith also got another hurry.
Smith got a hurry. He forced Vasco out of the pocket, and he even got that big paw out there and got a little bit of a shot on him there at the very end as well. Nice job.
We were talking to the Westview head coach, Nick Garretts, about how you ask a player that you need more from. How do we get that message to the player, I need you to step up? I don't know if we could get a message to Trey Smith, but this is the type of game where if we could get just a little bit more out of T, this would be a great time because Red Mountain's going to need some playmakers on this defensive side of the ball if they want to come out of here victorious.
Yeah, this last couple of minutes has gone pretty slow, and they do not want to let Westview get anything more on the board here.
Once again, Valentine lines up to the near side. Flank to the left of Vasco is Martinez. The snap is fumbled. So getting the lion's share of work at the tailback has been Dominic Fuentes. So Coach Enders takes a timeout at the bewitching hour before that ball was snapped. And Red Mountain will put another play in. You can see Matt Kelly, the defensive line coach, over there with some instruction, along with Kyle Enders. And we talked to Coach Pete before the ball game. And the staff with their Adidas gear, always looking sharp. With the great pants, the black shirts on tonight, and the
Good
black
look.
hats. All brought to you by Adidas. 5'10". They keep messing with the long team scoreboard here, and it just will make you wonder. Things that make you go, 21-20. Some great ball games around the state. How about Chaparral and Saguaro at center stage tonight? We talked about Highland and Basha.
Let's see if we can't get ourselves a score on that Saguaro game, huh?
I will let you read my impact players of the game, because we haven't talked about that, but you will be surprised with my list when it's all said done. 21-20. They still don't have the long team scoreboard time correct. I believe there's 51 seconds to go till halftime. They've got 5 minutes and 10 seconds showing on the scoreboard. So now they put the ball in play, even though the clock is not right. Red Mountain showing blitz. Now they back out. Vasco rolls out to the near side. Here comes pressure again, and the ball is caught. But Trey Smith providing the pressure. He put a hit on Vasco. Making the catch was Westview's 55. That is Miguel Gonzalez. All you can think is that's an illegal touch. I don't believe that Gonzalez reported eligible. So this would be an illegal touch if I'm the official here, JP.
Yeah, that's going to be a legal touch right there. They'll confirm that on the field here momentarily. But we got a score from Chaparral High School right now. It's halftime. Chaparral up on Saguaro 17-7.
How about it?
How about the Chaptown?
My Firebirds taking care of business. My alma mater. So it's going to be an illegal touch. And that, I believe, will result in a 10-yard penalty, and I believe it's a loss of down. We'll have to see. So now the referee makes the connection to Nick Garretts from the center of the field. So
loss of down indeed.
So that's a
now
big
we got
break.
5:10 remaining in the first half. I don't.
It should be a punting situation here for the Westview Knights, and I'll tell you what, James. Excellent pressure there after the quarterback. We talked about Trey Smith, and he was getting after the quarterback. He's got 3 hurries in this ball game.
Yeah, Trey Smith doing a great job on the edge, and they're having a tough time blocking him as the game goes on. He's getting through more and more often.
So here comes the punter. Red Mountain looks like they want to go after Mala again. They do, and the punter is rocked, and that is, I'm going to tell you right now, it's a terrible call. They're going to get Martinez, or excuse me, they're going to get George Ramirez on roughing the punter and are running into the kicker. That's too bad. So Wilson on the return. No return. He was covered up there by Jeremiah Dansell. And I don't believe it's a 15-yard variety. I think it's just running into the kicker. So that's going to give Garrett's a chance to take the ball where it is or have him re-kick. And I think Garrett said, we'll just take the ball.
Well, it depends on if there's 5:10 left in the first half or not. Also,
there's less than a minute. I can tell you that for sure. I think it's going to be around 47 seconds to go to the break. It would be nice to have them fix the Longines scoreboard here. We're in Avondale, and you're watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network. Shout out to the 700 plus that watched the Dobson game last week. Thank you. Our global listening audience around the United States and other parts of the Western Hemisphere.
Parts unknown, Kevin. Wherever the World Wide Web reaches you.
Here comes Hiram Bourne onto the field. So what does Tabor Lamar and Chris Andrianas do here at the break? In fact, joining us at the break will be offensive coordinator Tabor Lamar.
All right.
Lamar is going to join us here.
Outstanding.
So it'll be a full wide receiver set for Bourne. Back to throw, looks left, fires over the middle of the field. The ball's caught. George Ramirez. And George Ramirez makes the reception at the 40 to the 45, make it the 46-yard line. And Red Mountain's going to run the hurry-up offense here. And Bourne's going to clock it. So George Ramirez was his third reception of this first half. And for Georgie, he just hadn't played a lot of offense. Coming into the ballgame, he had 4 catches for 74 yards. He has 3 catches tonight, 2 touchdowns. So George Ramirez, once again, has come to play with his lunch pail and his cold water in that thermos. And this young man just makes play after play after play, and he is a highlight reel.
He is. Unbelievable.
So we still have no idea how much time's on the clock. Now they got it down to $1:10. There's inside 35 seconds to go here.
That guy's in the neutral zone.
Bourne back to throw from the 45-yard line. Steps up in the pocket, wants to wing it deep. He throws it deep. He's looking for Rivera, and the ball is incomplete. Rivera threw up one of his left hand. He tried to haul that one in OBJ style. And I love the opportunity, and I like them taking a chance right there. Love the chance to heave downfield, if you will, JP.
Yeah, you got to take a shot, right? I mean, now it's 11 seconds left, so you got to take a shot.
Hey, and how about that? A tip of the cap to the crew here tonight at Westview High School. 11 seconds to go. And what do you do here? I take one more chance. I see if I can't get 25, 30 yards, give Gardy a shot here.
9 routes for everybody.
So Jared Wilson has a touchdown reception tonight. He's in the middle of the field. They set up a middle screen to Elliott to the 50. 45, bounce to the outside, 40. 35, looking for blockers, and he's going to step out of bounds around the 37-yard line. I'm not sure that Deontay knew he stepped out of bounds. You cannot tackle Deontay Elliott one-on-one. If you want to tackle 5, you have to have 2 or 3 guys. You cannot do it mano-a-mano. And I will go back to the Monday night game if you happen to see some really crappy NFL football. Browns, Jets.
I didn't see a whole ton of it.
You want to talk about more crappy football? Tennessee, Jacksonville last night.
I heard there were bad calls in that one.
Oh, Tom Brady just said, hey, I'm done watching this game. But in the Monday night game,
it's halftime.
Adam Gase is defending. He's the head coach for the Jets, and they defend Odell Beckham in the middle of the field with one guy. They don't even jam him. Snap, pass, 89 yards, touchdown.
Housed it.
And you're thinking to yourself, why don't you put a little jam shot on OBJ? Now, the bitterness falls, then, yeah, I lost my fantasy game on that particular play. Of course I did.
Oh, here we go.
All right? And, yes, I'm a Steeler fan that traded OBJ for Juju Smith-Schuster, now no Ben Roethlisberger. So, yeah, I'm irritated. I'm bitter.
Did we ever find out who took Juju's bike?
I never heard that. I didn't even know the story. The only bike thief that I've ever known was a pitcher for the San Francisco Giants. His name is eluding me, but I'll get it. I'll get it for you. It's halftime here from Westview High School. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. I digress right there. It's 21-20. And, JP, before we go to the break and turn things over to the band, What a first half. And when you just look at one thing to highlight, I'll highlight Nico Vasco. The speed, the toughness, his ability to make plays. He's got 2 touchdowns here, and he's got his football team on his back.
Nico Vasco, a dynamic player for Westview, but I'll highlight Georgie Ramirez once again for Red Mountain. I mean, this guy, offense, defense, special teams, blocking kicks. I mean, he's all world. What can I say?
Yeah, Georgie Ramirez is having an MVP-type game here tonight. Block, punt, 2 touchdown receptions, a big catch over the middle of the field there. And he's made some nice tackles, too. So you can really get a lot out of Georgie Ramirez. So, having said that, it's 21-20. They've got 13:39 up on the Longines scoreboard. Hopefully that time is accurate. We're going to go to the break. You're watching Red Mountain Football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network.
If
We welcome you back to Avondale, Arizona, on the campus of Westview High, the home of the Knights. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. We understand that tonight's game is also the AIA 365 Game of the Week. So shout out to Dan Minucci and Seth Polanski and the crew over there. Jose Garcia, among others. Outstanding crew.
they got a 3-man crew over there?
No, but just talking about the fellas as Gardy comes out on the field. 21-20 here. It's what seemed like a long, long halftime.
It did.
Back deep is Dominic Fuentes. This would be Fuentes from about a yard deep, and he makes the catch into the end zone. So Fuentes is a guy that Coach Garrett's has a lot of confidence in. They put the ball in his hands a lot tonight.
Yeah, he's gotten the rock quite a few times here tonight for Westview, and they're looking for him to make plays. So we'll see what happens here as we start the second half of action, a 1-point ball game. And if you're Red Mountain, you obviously wanted to make some halftime adjustments, come out here and start moving the football down the field, but they're going to have to play defense first.
Yes, they will have to play a little D. They got to slow down Nico Vasco. They played last year, and Red Mountain won at 24-21. That game was 10-7 at the half, and that was a game that saw George Ramirez have quite the ball game. 15 carries, 87 yards, a couple touchdowns. So he likes to play against Westview. The ball's loose. Ball's a fumble recovery made by Red Mountain, and they get a takeaway on the first play of the second half. Skylar Edmonds all over that. The ball was ripped out of the hands of Dominic Fuentes, the young man we were just talking about getting the focal point of the carries here. He gets stripped in the middle of the line of scrimmage, and Skylar Edmonds comes away with a free ball.
Nice job on defense there for Red Mountain, using their hands, trying to strip that football away, and they did successfully get it out of there. And nice job, Skylar Edmonds, on the recovery, and he picked up a few yards after the recovery there as well. Excellent job.
So Bourne starts the second half inside the red zone. He's got 3 touchdown passes tonight. Bourne out of the shotgun formation. They put the ball in the hands of Deontay Elliott. Elliott up the middle, tries to bounce off a tackler, and they're just going to spike him to the turf. Boy, Deontay Elliott is so tough to tackle. We talked about how you need a multiple amount of players, a myriad of players to slow down 5. Deontay Elliott, and that time getting low to the ground, it looked like 35. Cameron Granado in a wrestling match finally got Deontay to the ground there, and a little bit of punishment at the end.
Yeah, he did. He wrapped up Deontay. He was getting a little bit tired of that dancing there in the middle. Wrapped up those legs and a little pile driver there.
Boy, this kid Flores is a load. He had a great first half. He's in the middle there playing nose tackle, 4-yard run. This is Elliott right up the middle, and Deontay's going to go in, high-stepping it, a touchdown from 15 yards away for Deontay Elliott, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season.
Boy, wide open up the middle there, just parting the Red Sea. Offensive line for Red Mountain doing an outstanding job, paving the way. Deontay Elliott, just nothing but green grass all the way to the end zone.
Deontay Elliott untouched to the end zone. Great run there. And as James pointed out, great blocking up front. I beg your pardon, that's Deontay's 6th rushing touchdown of the season for number 5. 5s were wild right there, and add 1. Great snap. Placement is there by Jay Woolley, and Connor Gardner drills the point after try. And with 11:08 to go in this third quarter, Red Mountain has taken the lead 28-20 over Westview, and that was all set up by the defense and a takeaway by Skylar Edmonds.
Points off of turnovers, Kevin. That's exactly what you want when you do get a turnover. You want to cash in on that, and that's exactly what Red Mountain did there. A nice job coming out here and striking first here in this second half to get off to a great start for Coach Mike Peterson.
It should be noted on that run by Deontay Elliott, untouched to the house, his 6th rushing touchdown of the year. Looking at the offensive sequence there, there is no sight of number 4 right now. So we keep an eye on that. That Ramses Rivera doesn't appear to be in that particular set for Red Mountain. The first offensive series of the second half, Rivera was not on the field. So we'll keep an eye on that. We received word at halftime that there has been a little bit of a challenge in the locker room, and so we'll see what has developed there, but I have not seen Rivera come out of the locker room for the second half. So
I don't see him on the sideline right now, Kev.
that is a concern. I don't know if it's an injury situation or what it is, but Four is not on the sidelines right now, and I'll try to keep an eye on. I know his parents are very loyal fans of this Red Mountain football program and huge fans of Ramses and his teammates, and I don't see them right now either, but I'm not on that watch party either. It's 28-20, and Deontay Elliott, another big-time run, and boy, that's speed. Once he gets that first gear, he's in the second third. He's chirping him in the second gear, and it just untouched.
It just glides down the field. It's so effortless, Kev. It just looks so effortless. It's just slamming in the third. Let's just go. Pop the clutch, and I'm in the end zone. Done.
28-20.
All over.
We talked to Tabor Lamar briefly, and Tabor said, hey, we're going to spread these guys out, and we're going to try to run the football here in the second half, and that's exactly what they did on that particular play. They spread them out, and Deontay had all kinds of real estate to run. In fact, you might have mentioned it there in the color analysis, but those guys up the middle between Isaiah Artis and Costa Cooley, you talk about doing an awful lot of road grading. They did it right there. No doubt about it. They spread them out. All right, 28-20. So Nico Vasco with a couple of touchdowns in this first half. 2 rushing, 1 passing. 1 to Isaac Hall for his 6th touchdown reception of the year. There goes Martinez in motion. Vasco's going to run it. They run it right. And he's going to get to the edge and gets drilled right there on the edge. So Vasco took a shot right there from number 9. Georgie Ramirez starts the second half with a big lick.
Georgie just reminding everybody, hey, I'm still here in this football game, and an excellent job as well there. Number 30, Parker McClure, getting in there and cleaning up the mess as well.
Parker had 17 tackles against the Perry Pumas, a career high for him. Also recovered a fumble, his first fumble recovery as a member of the varsity squad. Isaac Hall lines up to the near side. Nas Bryant checks in now. This is the first playing action for Nas Bryant. Vasco on a play fake. They run it. Looks like it's Fuentes again. Fuentes to the corner, and he can't get around the corner. So playing some great defense on the edge. That time was Ethan Peterson stringing him out, getting help from Cole Shivers and Major Kelly. More Major Kelly than Cole Shivers. Cole Shivers just has a couple of tackles on the season. So here comes the crew coming in. I'm sure they didn't go to Dairy Queen for the second time.
They did, Kevin.
I wouldn't expect them to go for a second time and not take care of the talent. That is unruly. Inside 10 minutes to go. Vasco back to throw, looking left, throws left, and the ball is caught. And there is Nas Bryant to make the immediate tackle on Isaac Hall. And JP, that ball was in the air for a long time. Good closing speed there by Nas Bryant.
Great closing speed there for Nas. He got him up around the headgear there. Kind of dodged a bullet, if you will, Kevin, because they could have called that for contact up around the head, but a nice job with the tackle there for Nas Bryant securing that. He came from the far side of the football field on that one, too. Nice job.
For Nas, his 8th tackle of the season. And for whatever reason, the clock is stopped at 9:08. Now they continue to roll it. 28-20 Mountain Lions. They trailed 6-0 here. It was a 21-20 game at the half. And on the first play from scrimmage to begin the second half, Dominic Fuentes put the ball on the turf, and Skylar Edmonds right there to pick it up and return it a couple yards. And then it seemed like on the very next play, Deontay Elliott took one in from 15 yards away, his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And the point after try is good. And here we are, 28-20. Mountain Lions have regained control. So Vasco from his own 29-yard line. They flip it to the wide receiver. He turns the corner, and he's going to get hammered out of bounds. But right on the edge, Cole Loria right there, right on the boundary to get on the back of DeHaven Valentine and just ride him to the turf. Great tackle there by Loria.
Boy, you just saw Cole Loria close in there in open space. Nice wrap and an excellent takedown. That ball carrier just disappeared out of sight there behind the line of Red Mountain players along the near sideline here. An excellent defensive play there for Cole Loria.
for Loria. That's his 11th tackle of the season. He continues to make plays also. So Shivers will line up with Isaac Hall to the near side. Out of the pistol, they run it to Fuentes. Fuentes to the second level, makes the man miss, and then he's going to run into defenders around the 40-yard line. There were two defenders there all over Fuentes. Cole Loria was one of them, and the second was Skylar Edmonds. So between Edmonds and Loria, both guys with 7 on their jerseys, getting in there and making it happen.
Excellent team defense once again there for Red Mountain, but a little shiftiness there in the middle there for Fuentes. Nice run.
Very much so. He has got some scoots, no doubt about it. 28-27, 51 to go in this third quarter from Westview High. 4-man front for the Mountain Lions. On a play fake by Vasco, he runs the option, and they get to Martinez. Martinez at the 39-yard line. He's going to be stood up there. His second effort will get him out across the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. George Ramirez and friends all over that play, and I think Parker McClure also in there, just moving that weight around that Parker McClure does. He is so dynamic in the middle there. He is a perfect Mike backer.
You know, I got to stop and give credit to defensive line coach Matt Kelly, doing a great job of getting his guys always fighting to the outside, never staying on the block for too long, trying to get off it in a hurry, and they're great at stringing these plays out wide.
Red Mountain showing blitz. Here they come and making a big play in the middle of tackle for the loss. I think that was Trey Smith. We'll double check. But also over there, nope, I'm going to tell you who that was. That was Colston Cooley, CC, and on that tackle for a loss. Take a look at our Hertz rental car replay.
Outstanding job there.
I always forget who the sponsor is. 1 week it's Hertz, then they don't send the checks in. Then it's Coca-Cola.
Parker & Sons, Pepsi, Dr. Pepper.
3rd and 11 from the 39-yard line.
Snapple.
Vasco back to throw from the pocket, throws, and the ball is caught. First down yardage. There goes Hall. 40, 30, foot race, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Isaac Hall, his second of the game, and this one goes for 61 yards. Bosco has a hand in 4 touchdowns, 2 running, 2 passing, and hold everything with 6:16 to go. After a 61-yard pass play, Red Mountain has to shore up defensively once again.
Yeah, Westview going to go for 1 here now to pull it to within 1. But Red Mountain has got to stiffen defensively. They've got to get together and stop this Westview offense.
Great throw by Vasco and a great catch. And really, you can make a case for the tackling. Not as good as it can be and not as good as it's been all season long. But that time, poor tackling allowed that big play to happen. And Isaac Hall, he's a playmaker. We told you before the game he was a stud, and he's delivered twice tonight. And with that point after try by Mala, it's a 1-point ball game. So 6:16 to go in this third quarter here in Avondale. It's 28-27. We got a ball game.
Yeah, Isaac Hall, a big target there for the quarterback for Westview, and he just uses that big frame to haul that one in, and then it was just all jets after that. He even kind of stopped and looked back a couple times. If he'd have just took it to the house, he might have been 5-10 yards in front of everybody on that one.
Did you just say hauled it in?
Hauled it in.
How about that? When you look at the points and the offensive numbers for these two schools, Red Mountain first in the 6A conference at 50.5. That's 202 points. For the Knights, 124 points. That's 41.3 for their 3 games. They're 8th in the 6A conference. Total yards per game, how about this? Westview, 457 total yards per game. Red Mountain just at 363. That's 5th and 16th respectively. So back deep, we should have a new return man. So it's Elliott back deep with Butler. And this time, looks like it's Gage Skidmore on the return, but that is not Gage Skidmore. I said it looks like him because it is him. That's Gage Skidmore, number 80. How about that?
That's big number 80, rumbling down the middle of the field there.
The big fella. So again, no Rivera on the return team. I continue to look for Ramses, and I have not been able to pick him up. I have no idea what's going on, but that
Scanning the sideline, Kevin. I'm still not seeing a number 4 anywhere. for Red Mountain.
So Butler starts at wide receiver here in the second half. Jared Wilson also gets the start along with Jackson Beecher.
I did see Georgie Ramirez stopping there and checking the iPad on what happened on the last play.
So they put the ball in the hands of Ty McElroy. Some shifty running to the 50, 45, and he'll take on a tackler around the 40-yard line. Forcing him out of bounds that time was Elijah Hall, and Elijah Hall going one-on-one with Ty McElroy. I'll tell you what, I'll take Ty McElroy 9 out of 10 times right there. Just the shoulder dip and the power and the punishment that McElroy delivers is really impressive.
What a hard run there once again from Ty McElroy, able to get out to the edge. And he's got the timing, too, with that shoulder cover. He knows exactly when to go ahead and drop it down and lower the boom to initiate that contact and win the contact.
Unofficially, a 15-yard run from scrimmage for Ty McElroy. This is T again as he stiffs arm one tackle to 40, get around the corner, and again delivering blows and punishment.
There it is again.
Gets around the corner. That time he nearly took the head off of 67, Andrew Fierro. Fierro had 3 hurries last week to go along with 5 tackles and 2 tackles for a loss. He had a huge game against Alhambra. And you can see the big fellow, Jacob Flores, raising his right hand. He's looking for perhaps a breather here. It's 28-27, 5:23 to go in this third quarter. Beecher to the far side. Wilson in the slot. 2-back set here for Hiram Bourne. Ty McElroy is getting the bulk of the carries here. Villanueva is checked in. Westview showing blitz on a play fake for Bourne. Has time. Rolls to the near side, 40, turns the corner, 35, 30, steps back into play, and he's ridden out of bounds. Boy, that's a lot of meat rolling over on you. 35, once again, that is Westview's talented defender, Cameron Granado. Wanted to make sure we were accurate with that. Cameron Granado, 5'9", 215, is a junior middle linebacker, and he too plays this game with a little bit of nasty, doesn't he?
He does, and Granado is getting it done as well for Westview. We called his name a couple times tonight, but I got to give credit on that last play, number 26, Josiah Villanueva, blocking down the field, doing a great job there for Red Mountain. He's the one that sprung that play.
Villanueva, an unselfish player, 75 yards on his 2 first varsity touchdowns last week. Bourne back to throw, play fake, throws over the middle of the field. The ball's caught by Jared Wilson, and Wilson lost the football. The ball was popcorned around a little bit down there. Let's see who comes away with the rock. Westview says they've got the football, and they do. And showing the football for the Knights, 52, Alejandro Barba comes away with yet another Red Mountain turnover, and the Mountain Lions cough it up here. Good throw by Bourne, great route by Jay Willie, excellent reception, and he took a shot in the middle of the field. The ball popcorned out. They volleyballed it around a little bit, and then it was Westview with the recovery here. So another turnover for Red Mountain. Westview dodges a huge bullet. They now need to go the length of the field here, 89 yards away for their next touchdown. 4:43 to go in this third quarter.
That was a great little touch pass there in the middle, and Jared Wilson, a little pirouette trying to turn it back around and head upfield, just lost the football.
Mountain Lions showing blitz. Vasco out of the pistol. He keeps it. He throws. There's a wide open receiver, and it looks like it's Hall again, and he's going to be thrown down around the 35-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle there by Skylar Edmonds, and Isaac Hall is now having a big, big second half here. 2 touchdowns already, over 100 yards tonight for Isaac Hall, and Red Mountain's going to have to put a hat on too, and they might need some help with that hat as well.
Yeah, these DBs for Red Mountain right now playing up a little bit close, and the coaches for Westview are seeing it, and they're seeing a couple times where they're able to take a shot and get behind these defenders for Red Mountain.
So Vasco on that zone read around the corner, 50 with speed, 40, angles to the sideline, 30, and he's run out of bounds, but not before another big-time play by Nico Vasco. It looked like Ethan Peterson ran him out of bounds and maybe saved the touchdown. Flag on the play, and this one looks like it's coming back. The penalty marker's been dropped at the 35-yard line, and if you're Nick Garrett, you got to be hot right now. That's a tough call to go against your football team trailing by a point with 4:07 to go in the third quarter.
Hot and maybe a little bit nauseated because that was a heck of a run that time for Vasco on the far side of the field. How about the wheels? He went about 45 yards there, Kevin, in about 3 seconds.
Unofficially a 50-yard run but it's going the other way. And you talk about dodging some bullets here. We're in a shooting gallery tonight in Avondale, and Red Mountain's bobbing and weaving here, ducking out of the Scud missile attacks by Westview. Now they're, again, trying to get back to where they can gain some control here. They need their defense to get going, and how. Vasco, again, he'll keep it. They're going to run the exact same play. This time, there's positive yardage there, but that hole closes up much quicker that time.
Well, the old adage, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that's what Coach Nick Garrett is banking on right now. They're going off that right-hand side, and Red Mountain doesn't have an answer right now.
Looked like Skylar Edmonds over there defensively to make the stop, and if Edmonds had not made that stop, Nico Vasco would be still running. Isaac Hall lines up to the near side. Nas Bryant will defend him. We haven't seen Cole Shivers in a couple of plays, unless he's taken the boundary spot. They're looking for Hall on the out pattern. Hall is there, makes the catch at the 44-yard line there, and he's forced out of bounds. Good defense there by Nas Bryant, and that's a great throw there by Nico Vasco, showing you his quarterback ability here. He can run, but he's also making some throws, and he's using the entire field to make those throws. Yeah,
a great throw there for Vasco, and a great route as well by Hall to the outside. Just able to get out past the defender, get his arms up, and pull that football in. Excellent job.
You talk about the delivery of the football. That was right on the money. Jalen Daniels making some throws here with Connor Gardner. So that's interesting. First attempt from the 45-yard line. They run it up the middle, and Red Mountain was right there waiting for him. In fact, the Mountain Lions say they've got the football. That would be the second time that Fuentes put the ball on the turf.
Jake Griffin came up with it.
Big Jake was in that run-stuffing position right up the middle there. So Deontay Elliott is checked in at one cornerback spot. So we'll have to see about Shivers, because Shivers had arguably played a solid football game here, but with some of these plays over the top, it's difficult to discern where the mistakes are coming and not pointing out Cole Shivers in any way, shape, or form. I thought he's played an outstanding football game here tonight. But now here comes Elliott. Elliott's going to defend Isaac Hall. Watch that matchup there. Vasco is going to put the ball in the hands of his running back, and he's stuffed. Parker McClure and Jacob Griffin all over Fuentes, and for the second consecutive play, Jacob Griffin strips the ball from Fuentes, and he's not going to get credit for a takeaway. That's back-to-back plays, JP.
I don't understand that, Kevin. 2 times in a row now, Jake Griffin has taken the football out of the ball carrier's hand before the end of the play, and he still doesn't get it.
Interesting. Belay Nelson will walk off. Fuentes will now give way here. So Isaac Hall, he wears number 2, 6'3", 180. He'll line up in the slot. To the right of him is Andrew Parra. It'll be Nico Vasco. Vasco back to throw. Here comes the pressure. The pressure is there, and Vasco gets away from it. He throws on the run, and the ball is caught around the 43-yard line. And forcing him out of bounds was Ethan Peterson, and Major Kelly making the catch for the Westview Knights was Jonathan Chacon. And boy, the Mountain Lions had Vasco in the grasp, and they couldn't bring him down, and Vasco continues to make plays. The second and third effort that time, and he's finding open receivers down the field, and that's just too easy.
Vasco almost gets annihilated as he scrambles out the far side of the field, comes back this way, somehow able to flip his hips and throw. What a play that time, getting the football down the field, complete to the wide receiver, and picking up the first down. Outstanding job.
Unofficially a 24-yard pass play. Vasco again back to throw. Instead, they wave off the play. So we have encroachment upcoming here for the Mountain Lions, and you can see the disgust on the face of Deontay Elliott. The best games are the games that we don't talk about the officiating crew. And in most cases, JP, we talk to these guys on the field before and after the games. And for the most part, they really do an excellent job. But every now and then there's a couple of games, there's a handful of games where things just start to get sideways and you get calls from all over the place. And we're seeing a little bit of that here tonight. 28-27, 1:36 to go. Vasco under a heavy blitz. He escapes the pressure, and then finally he's going to get dropped down. Great pressure by Jake Griffin, and also there was Trey Smith. So between Jake Griffin and Trey Smith, they had a meeting at the quarterback position, and they got Vasco down, but believe it or not, Vasco evaded the sack right there. He avoided the sack. He evaded the pressure long enough to pick up positive yardage there. Vasco he's just a playmaker, and he's very elusive.
He's a football player, Kevin, and he's able to get, I don't know how he got out of that sack and still took a couple of shots on that one and ended up almost getting back to the line of scrimmage.
So Georgia Ramirez on the same side of Isaac Hall. Red Mountain again showing blitz from the far side. Vasco back to throw. They throw over the middle, and the pass is complete around the 30-yard line. I believe Hall made the catch again. He was thrown down immediately by number 30, Parker McClure. And good pass defense there by Red Mountain as Nico Vasco just methodically continues to move the football up and down the field here. And he's doing it in the third quarter. His team trailing by 1, and they are in golden position here to score and take the lead here this trip down, JP.
Yeah, they're moving the football right now. Red Mountain's got to get a stop.
Vasco from the pocket throws towards the end zone. The ball is going to be incomplete. Daniel Butler was there on the coverage, and it was a jump ball for 11. That is David Valentine, and we talk about the ability to be a passer. Nico Vasco is spinning it tonight. What a perfect pass, and Valentine had a chance on that. Valentine might have come back to the huddle and said, that's on me, I should have caught that football.
Yeah, well, he had full extension there in the end zone. He laid out and tried to get every bit of that football, but just couldn't bring it in for some reason. But Vasco is just taking this team on his back right now and trying to lead them to victory.
And credit Daniel Butler back there playing cornerback, thrust into duty. Did a nice job there, and perhaps he made it a lot more difficult than we could see here from the 50-yard line. 4th down and 5 from the 31-yard line of Red Mountain. Vasco takes the snap on a fake. He's going to run it to the outside. Falling blockers. Penalty marker comes in, and Vasco is going to be close to the first down. We'll see if he got it as quarter number 3 comes to a close here. Red Mountain's Jake Griffin leading the charge. The alpha dog right there leading the charge as they know this penalty is going the other way.
Yeah, that was intense pressure up front that time for Red Mountain, and that was the result of that holding penalty there right there, because it was either hold the guy or let him get past you and plant your quarterback.
So Jared Wilson and the offense will come onto the field here, and when you see the left tackle Ben Bray leading the way out there, big number 64, Red Mountain's going to decline the penalty. They didn't get the first down. Excellent defense by the Mountain Lions. And you talk about kind of opening things up with the ferocity defensively. This looks like it's going to be a hard-hitting final 12 minutes, JP.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle of wills here in the fourth quarter, Kevin. 1 point separating these two teams, and that was a big stop, a big possession there for the Red Mountain defense, able to get Westview out of that with no points.
Huge. Absolutely huge. First 3 quarters in the books from Westview High in Avondale, Arizona. You're watching Red Mountain football on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network. Fourth quarter coming up next. We welcome you back on the Red Mountain Football Broadcast Network. Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poobie, 28-27 Red Mountain. And an absolute dandy here. First play of the fourth quarter, it's a sweep to Ty McElroy. Cuts it back up in the middle, and he's still on his feet to the 40. Tries to spin out of a tackle around the 45-yard line. And there's a nice tackle there by the Westview Knights, Stone Donahue. And not before Ty McElroy just gashed off an excellent run for him. And you talk about Ty McElroy and their T-Mac, so physical is T-Wiggle down there.
Well, you talk about the cutting ability of Deontay Elliott.
Yeah.
How about that there from Ty McElroy, able to put his foot in the ground and come reverse field in a hurry and get right back the other way.
I think he got me. All right, it's T-Mac again. Big hole right side, 50, 45, and punishing tacklers around the 42-yard line. That's the kind of run you want to see in the fourth quarter from Ty McElroy. Arguably his best game of the season right now for Ty McElroy. Running with authority, running with a vengeance, and running with an attitude. 23, Ty T-Wiggle McElroy.
Make no mistake, that defender will think twice before he tries to fill that hole against Ty McElroy after a shot like that.
No question. Daniel Butler lines up to the far side. Jackson Beecher to the near side. Jared Wilson in the slot. 2 to the right, 2 to the left for Hiram Bourne. It's a run right back up the middle. Ty McElroy, huge hole into the secondary. Then the 35 down to the 31-yard line. Ty McElroy just ripping off big run after big run. Now he's going to be spelled for a moment as Deontay Elliott comes in. So fresh legs comes in for Ty McElroy. And how about that on a 1-2 punch? You're going to deal with the punishing, ferocious style of Ty McElroy. Then you got to deal with Deontay Elliott. We've already talked about how not one man can tackle 5.
T-Mac stole my little segue there. I was going to say he's trying to put this team on his back.
This is Elliott. Bounce to the outside, 30, 25. Holding penalty coming up inside of the red zone, and they're going to grab him and throw him down to the turf. But Ty McElroy is on the bench watching his teammate Deontay Elliott. And Elliott, that time with a lot of flair and some speed to the outside, and that time you could see that there was a hold on that right side, and they're going to bring this one back. And I guess, JP, at this point in the ballgame, we talked all about the heat throughout the first month of the season and the attrition and the fact that we played in these some sultry type games. It's a pleasant evening weather-wise, but still, when you got those pads on and you're playing tackle football, when you get tired, that's when the penalties start to happen, and things just, the dynamics change a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of effort put out on the field. It's a little bit warmer down there than it is up here at the top of the visitors' bleachers, but these guys are grinding it out down there, and this game is starting to wear on both teams. A physical football game. There's been a lot of hard hits, a lot of hard runs here in this one, hard yardage all over the field, and these teams are starting to wear down. Now it's going to come down to conditioning and who has the best stamina here to outlast the other opponent.
1st and 10 for Bourne. They go up the middle with Elliott again, and Elliott is going to take the ball towards the 28-yard line, and you watch Deontay Elliott just with that acceleration, the slight hesitation, and then the burst through the hole. And then our guys, like you pointed out earlier, JP, they seem like they're leaving their feet for some reason. And that time when Deontay left his feet a little bit there, they were able to kind of bring the troops over there and get them to the turf.
Yeah, that's the second time in a row now. Deontay's. I understand that he's trying to do something and get that extra yard or two, but when you're get yourself held up like that, those guys are going to come in there and tee off on you. You got to be careful.
12-yard run for Deontay Elliott. Georgia Ramirez lines up in the slot. 2 wide receivers left, 2 to the right for Bourne on a play fake. They go to the outside. Ball's complete to Jared Wilson, and Jared Wilson is going to wisely just take his act to the turf right there. Way to secure the football, make a play for his football team. He needed 7 yards. He got 8, and that's a great football play. Hiram Bourne to Jared Wilson. They move the chains, and they keep this drive going with a 1-point lead, and they take some more time off the clock. That's what you need to do here in this fourth quarter.
Heady football. The defense is going to rise up now, especially if this offense is able to go and score this football. And they're marching down the field right now. Red Mountain doing a good job.
Bourne, run pass option. They give it to Elliott. Elliott with a little hesitation, and then that dart up the middle. And you can see the big fella Flores again getting up off that pile as the pace of play has been a little bit more deliberate here. Tabor Lamar said they want to run the football a little bit more here in the second half. And here comes T-Mac. If you want to use the thunder and lightning analogy, here comes the thunder as the lightning will give way here. Deontay. And I do see Ramses Rivera
Kevin,
on the
we have
football
a
field.
Ramses Rivera spotting now.
I do see 4 on the football field, and that's good. That is excellent. We wanted to see that young man on the sideline in uniform. All right, 28-27. Inside the red zone is Hiram Bourne. Ramirez in the slot. T-Mac flank to the right on a play fake. Bourne over the end zone looking for Jared Wilson. He makes the catch inside the 5, and Jared Wilson's going to be stood up around the 4-yard line as Westview's just trying to stand him up and strip the ball, but an excellent reception. Another great throw by Hiram Bourne. Jared Wilson just makes plays, and he is as sure-handed as a receiver as Red Mountain has.
Sure-handed, able to catch the ball in traffic and get in the yards after the catch there. An excellent effort there for Jay Willie, driving those feet. But again, you got to be careful in that pile because there's a lot of unmentionables going on in that fracas there, Kevin.
Yeah, and that is indeed a fracas. So Jared Wilson having himself a nice ball game. My impact players of the game, the Red Mountain offensive line was number 1. Number 2 was Jared Wilson. Number 3, Georgie Ramirez. Stay hot, KD. T-Mac again in the end zone. Touchdown, Ty McElroy. A 3-yard punishing touchdown run for the Mountain Lions. And they now lead it 34-27 with the point after try upcoming here. Nice run there by Ty McElroy.
Great run by T-Mac, all set up by the big boys up front. Just doing a great job of blocking, base blocking up front. Nothing complicated. Just get on your man, drive him back about 2 yards, and let T-Mac find the hole and squirt through.
For T-Mac, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Here comes Connor Gardner. Low snap, great hold, and the kick is right down Broadway. And it's now 35-27. A big touchdown run by Ty McElroy, and let's call it what it is. Ty deserved that touchdown. He had the lion's share of the workload on that drive, gashing off big runs, gashing off powerful runs, and then the finishing run, a touchdown from 3 yards away. That is exclamation point type stuff from 23, Ty McElroy.
Well, there's about 3, 4, maybe 5 players over on that Westview sideline right now saying, boy, I am not looking forward to facing Red Mountain again next year, especially if Ty McElroy is going to be in the backfield, because this guy can deliver a blow.
Yeah, he's pretty physical. No doubt about that. So the Mountain Lions with a 35-27 lead. They're trying to go improve their record to 4-1. And with the Perry Pumas getting a little loose with their recreational habits last weekend, some of their players have been suspended for tonight's game against Cesar Chavez in Levine. So that will be a very interesting game in the grand scheme of things. Super 8 is the whole idea of who's going where in the postseason and what teams belong. But if Perry can win tonight's game in Levine, that's a true testament to Preston Jones and that coaching staff. Some 35 players rumored to be out tonight for Preston Jones' squad. That's a team, if any team could afford to lose 36 guys, I guess you could say Perry, with all the numbers that they have. They've got some playmakers there, but can they beat Chavez with Lucas Arns and Jaleel Walker and company? That'd be a tall order.
They got about 187 kids on the roster there at Perry, so they can lose a few, but it's going to be a detriment to Preston Jones. And but if he's able to come out with a win out there against Cesar Chavez, and they've played some formidable opponents so far this year, and they waxed that team that came down from Alaska. So we'll see how it all shakes out when it comes down to power points, et cetera, et cetera.
One footnote on that last Ty McElroy touchdown. That was T-Mac's 14th career touchdown. Came with the 7:33 mark of this 4th quarter as we await for the return of our AZ Preps 365 broadcast. So the ball will be placed on the 40-yard line, and you can see Ramses Rivera up and down the sidelines now playing cheerleader, and that's awesome. Number 4 back in this ball game. He's got the beanie on his head. He's into it as Gardner drills this one to the near side, and that's going to be a procedure penalty. You can see Connor shaking his head a little bit. we always talk about consistency, and last week Connor Gardner had 6 of 8 touchbacks, 18 to 25 on the season. He's had a couple kicks here to the near side, but Coach Peterson said, hey, these are high school student athletes. They're not going to be perfect. They're not going to kick a perfect conversion or have successful kicks every time into the end zone. So we have to put that in perspective. And they're still learning a game out here. They're still trying to develop as young people. And it's all about effort. And I think we can see a lot of effort from all these kids on the field from both sides.
Indeed.
Major Kelly lines up in coverage there. They give it to Fuentes. Fuentes is going to be run down from the backside by, look like Jacob Griffin with all kinds of speed. So for Jacob Griffin,
I believe that was number 88 on that one there, Kev. Trey Smith running that down, I believe, on the far side.
I'm looking through the Bushnells as well, and I see the big fella there. I see Trey the Truth Smith. I don't even see Jake Griffin on the field, so I beg your pardon on that one. I was just wishing for the backside recovery by Jake Griffin. That was more of a Trey Smith type play, just with his speed. And Big Jake, they run it to Valentine. Valentine tries to get to the edge. He does at the 40-yard line, and he's run out of bounds right there. Good pursuit to the football by Skylar Edmonds and Georgie Ramirez all over that play. Georgie makes a play and it gets right back in there and starts to call the defense. The captain and the leader of this defense
comes all the way from the far side of the football field, nearly keeps outside contained, gets off that block, and has a tackle for a loss at the 35-yard line. What a player. Golly, that guy's good.
Niner. Stud now.
Golly.
35-27, clock stop at 6:44 to go. 3rd and 4, huge play here, and we get movement on that right side. The big fellas for Westview, Edgar Mendoza and Demaria Lowry moved early, and it looked like Cawthon Cooley was there on the edge there. And that 3-tech, he usually plays nose guard, but it looked like Cooley was on the edge on that particular play.
Well, it's hard to tell because these guys do such a good job of running up and down the line of scrimmage, getting off blocks, and they might start in that 3 or a 2-eye technique, and then in a second they're outside playing a 5 and keeping contained, doing a great job doing that. So these guys are good up front.
Big Jake back in, 4 down linemen, 5 up front. Red Mountain on the hunt. Here they come, going after Vasco. The pass is thrown outside, and breaking the tackle is Isaac Hall, going down the sideline to the 45, 40-yard line, inside the 35-yard line, around to the 30, and he's finally knocked out of bounds there. And this time is banged up as Isaac Hall slow to get up. Cole Loria amongst a whole group of mountain line defenders trying to defend Isaac Hall, and you have to credit the quarterback, Nico Vasco, with everyone in his grill. He throws off the back foot, an out route, and Isaac Hall's there, and as he leaps and looks for the ball, it's right on the money. Delivery of the football, exceptional for Nico Vasco.
This guy's a football player as well. We talk about George Ramirez, but Nico Vasco as well. 4 or 5 defenders bearing down on him there for Red Mountain.
Unofficially a 23-yard pass play, and there's Martinez as he's absolutely ridden down hard to the turf. Looked like Major Kelly, among others over there. You see Jake Griffin coming off that MCL tear from a year ago. Both knee braces on there. Looks like Big Jake's played a tackle football game tonight. His uniform is just about all white. In fact, his shirt's soaking wet in perspiration.
It's got that yellow tinge to it, Kevin.
That would be called soil, dirt. And speaking of soil and dirt, this Westview field is treacherous, folks. We should have talked about that before this ball game. We were on the field before the game, and there are a lot of holes on this field. It is a tribute to everyone that is playing in this game that no one has been banged up or gotten trapped in one of those foxholes, because there's no embellishment. There's 4 or 5 holes all over the field. There's a couple of trenches. All right, now I'm exaggerating about the trenches, but I mean, it's treacherous. The field conditions here are deplorable for a high school football game. You'd think that in the last week here they'd had 6 or 7 band competitions, 8 football games, 6 Pop Warner games, and a
rugby tournament.
And exactly, and 2 rugby tournaments to close out their campaign.
I'm just really surprised that there hasn't been more guys lose their footing than there has tonight with the field conditions like they are. But that's credit to these guys really, using the cleats, using that good footwork, and trying to stay upright.
What player are you more impressed with, Nico Vasco or Isaac Hall? They have both put on a show here tonight.
Nico Vasco is unbelievable.
He's very, very
unbelievable.
Good.
I had the pleasure of calling his brother Tyler about 4.5 years ago during my first game I ever broadcasted, and these Vasco kids can play football.
Yes, they can. Vasco
goodness.
In the pistol, low snap. From the pocket, fires, ball's batted up and nearly intercepted. Boy, I don't know if Daniel Butler had a hand on that, but great defense there as the window closed rather quickly on Nico Vasco. He tried to force one in over the middle of the field, and the Red Mountain defense all over that play. 5:49 to go in this ball game. It's 35-27. And for the Mountain Lions, trying to dig down deep here, one quick note on the Westview Knights in the last decade. 10 years of football. We talked about Jeff Bowen and Coach Joe Parker, now what Nick Garrett's is doing. 86-34 in the last 10 years for Westview. That's a testament to the tradition and what they do here at Westview High School. Vasco back to throw. He's under pressure. He's going to go down and sacked. Finally, they got to the quarterback. Guess who? Trey the Truth Smith. The 6A sack leader just picks up sack number 6 on this season, and he did that with a lot of speed off the edge.
Trey Smith, an outstanding job. He should have actually got credited with 2 sacks that time, Kevin, because Vasco broke the first one, and then Trey Smith's second effort got back up and wrangled him back to the ground. What an effort.
The outside edge and the angle at which he came in going after the quarterback, different body type, but that was Terrell Suggs-esque with the way he came in at the angle and the speed. That was a tremendous football play.
They call that running the hoop.
4th and 19 here for Vasco. Out of the gun, back to throw. The pressure from the outside. Hizzy lets it go. The ball's thrown down the field, and the ball's going to be caught. What a play on the far side of the field. That can only be Isaac Hall. Wow. Another miraculous play by Isaac Hall. This time it looked like he caught the football, and Nico Vasco again with pressure in his face delivers another strike down the field.
Ice water in the veins there for Nico Vasco. He's unflattered, Kevin, by the pressure coming at him from all angles, able to stand in there and deliver the ball, and Hall just full extension, lays out and pulls it in.
Unofficially 45-yard gain. Isaac Hall have a night. Right near 150 yards tonight, couple of touchdowns.
You might want to call your friends and get them in because this is a heck of a football game.
Big play, big play, big play, Isaac Hall. Vasco out of the pistol. They go up the middle, and the run blitz is right there. Great defense and a great call by Kyle Ender's defense. Jake Griffin was there along with Skylar Edmonds, Cole Loria, and a whole slew of Mountain Lion defenders all over that play. You talk about a pack mentality and swarming of the football. That was a big play for Red Mountain's defense. They got to stand tall right here if they want to come out of here with a W. It's 35-27, inside 4 minutes to go. They've got to slow down Nico Vasco and Isaac Hall. What do you do here? Do you put a second body on Hall? You don't want him to beat you.
Well, that's why they brought Deontay Elliott into the ballgame so that he is not able to get behind the coverage for Red Mountain.
They run Fuentes on a sweep, and he's strung out and thrown to the ground. Daniel the Beast Butler just went beast mode on Fuentes. And when you look at those two players, you talk about the stature. For Daniel Butler, he is 5'6", 146. Fuentes, 5'6", 150. You talk about mano a mano, man on man. My guy against your guy, well, Daniel Butler just won that battle.
Those guys are playing football as well. 5'6", 140, or excuse me, 146 for Daniel Butler. He's playing like he's a 175-pound DB out there.
But that's in the super flyweight in the boxing division.
Yeah.
Those guys are some smaller in stature young men, but they are playing huge. Huge play here. 3rd and 13 from the 12-yard line. Red Mountain's defense, can they make one more play and get the rock? Vasco has 2 wide receivers to his left. He's looking left. Vasco with time for the pocket. He throws outside. Nobody's home. and the penalty marker comes in. That's a terrible call, and I'll tell you why that's a bad call. Isaac Hall was outside the pylon when the flag came in. The play was outside the boundary when the flag came in. Tough break for the Mountain Lions.
Oh, that was atrocious. Come on now. That was a great play. First of all, it was a great job for him to even get that football off. And then great defensive back play there for Red Mountain, and they get the laundry.
You're talking about using the playing field to your advantage. They played that perfectly. Once Hall was off the field, he's out of the play. There shouldn't be an infraction at all.
That's a game-changing penalty right there, Kevin, and that's what you don't want.
Tough break. Wow. 2:42 clock stop. Knights trailing 35-27. Ball spotted on the, we'll call it the 8-yard line. The referee will get back in position. That's Bob Ferreria. There goes Martinez in motion. Out of the pistol, it is Bosco. Bosco is going to lower his shoulder and try to pick up extra yardage, but there's a wall of defense there. And great defense by Red Mountain. Costed Cooley. Looks like he's starting to show a little fatigue, as this Red Mountain front four would after this long drive.
Yeah, this has been a long football game as well, Kevin. Vasco taking it into the belly there and kind of folded himself up, a little clamshell there. A dangerous play there for Vasco. He could have got folded up 8 ways from Sunday there, but big fourth down now coming up. This Red Mountain defense has got to rise up right here.
2 minutes to go, 35-27. This will be a 4th and 4 on the 9-yard line. Vasco out of the pistol formation. 2 wide receivers to the left. There goes Martinez. Vasco rolls to the far side looking for the end zone. The ball is batted down. Deontay Elliott with the hops to get up and defend that pass. And what a spectacular play by Deontay Elliott, and the Mountain Lion defense rises to the occasion. Great substitution by the defense. Excellent recognition by Mike Peterson and his football team to make that change. You put an athlete on an athlete, and that time 5. Deontay Elliott won the individual battle. Turnover on downs, Red Mountain football.
Outstanding job. I'm watching them celebrate right now on the sideline here for Red Mountain. Deontay Elliott, nice job timing that jump, getting up there just on the right, at the right moment, batting that one away. A huge play there for Red Mountain's defense.
Looked like he was on a trampoline. Great defense. They go to T-Mac. T-Mac with room. T-Mac bounce to the outside. Great cutting ability by Ty McElroy, and he stays in bounds around the 25-yard line, zigzagging his way down the field, using his blocks, showing patience, and then making a heady play to stay in bounds after he got the first down. T-Wiggle again.
If there's anybody that's not going to go out of bounds, it's Ty McElroy. He is going to look for contact, oftentimes initiating it.
Gain of 17 yards for Ty McElroy. He's the lone back. This looks like it's a tank formation. They're just going to run the football. They're going to test the will of the Knights. 62 seconds to go in this game. Bourne under center, the turn they give to Ty McElroy. Goes up the middle, and he lowers the shoulder, and he lowers those pads, and he takes tacklers with him out across the 34-yard line, about the, we'll call it the 34. Another great run there and a lot more power.
Nobody filling holes that time. Ty McElroy full steam ahead, and no one's going to get in his way. I'm telling you, the word is out. This guy's going to lower the boom, and he's not going to go down easy.
Miguel Gonzalez playing both ways tonight. 6'1", 235, showing you his wear, and he's taking a lot of shots from Ty McElroy tonight. 32 seconds to go.
Hiram Bourne waiting for that back judge to raise his arm and start counting, and now he's going to snap it.
Bourne the turn to give to Ty McElroy. Makes a move at the 35-yard line out to the 40-yard line. And Ty McElroy. No, let's see. It was T-Mac. So T-Mac raises his hand. The number 1 sign in victory to the Red Mountain contingent. The Mountain Lions are going to win this football game. It was an ugly football game, but they did it in grand fashion. And look at the excitement from John Butler down there. Ty McElroy making a huge contribution. making big run after big run. And this is what you do in the fourth quarter, JP. You dig down deep and you just eliminate the opposition. You destroy their will. And I think in this last series, Red Mountain's defense destroyed their will late, and then they just got the football and they did what you exactly want to do when you want to run out the clock. You want to kill the clock. You just destroy them offensively. Offensive line firing off the ball. Huge runs by Ty McElroy. Great blocking by everybody in that tank package, and Red Mountain delivers with a victory here. 35-27. They already turned off the clock.
Yeah, they did. Pound the rock and kill the clock, and that's exactly what Red Mountain did there in that last stanza. Nice job getting the football, going straight ahead between the tackles. Credit to co-offensive coordinators Tabor Lamar and Chris Andriotis, and I think you could say it's safe to say that Red Mountain snatched victory from the jaws of defeat there in this one. I don't know, Kev. It was ugly, but in the end, like we say, when we get down to the end of October and November, it's going to be a dub on the sheet. That's all that matters.
They got the dub. They're now 4-1, and they will probably enjoy this one for about an hour, hour and a half, and they'll turn their attention to the Basha Bears. It will be interesting to see what happens with Basha tonight against Highland. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Cesar Chavez and the Perry Pumas tonight. But here, Mike Peterson's team gets the big win. And most importantly, it's how they won the football game, James. They did it with some more balance offensively. Another strong performance for Hiram Bourne. 3 touchdown passes, timely running. Deontay Elliott, a big touchdown run. Ty McElroy had a touchdown run. Georgie Ramirez plays out of this world football. And you come on the road and you beat a good football team. We try to talk about the tradition that's here at Westview. This is a very good football program. It's a good team. And they're in the playoffs every year. And they knock down that door every year. They just can't break it down and jump in and enjoy the party. But they are getting closer. But for Red Mountain, this is coming in here, digging down deep, and coming from behind for a big win.
Yeah, it was all will tonight here for Red Mountain. They had to will themselves to the victory, and that's exactly what they did. If you're Coach Nick Garrett's in the Westview Knights, you obviously wanted to win the football game. It's at home, but you have to be pleased with the effort put on here against a very good Red Mountain football team.
The Mountain Lions are now 8-2 all-time against the Westview Knights. It was a big win for our entire outstanding broadcast crew. I'm Kevin Derryberry alongside James Poovey. Our final score in Avondale, where the Red Mountain wins it 35-27. They come from behind to do it. And what a night for Hiram Bourne. What a night for Georgie Ramirez. And what a night for this Red Mountain defense in the fourth quarter. Good night from Avondale.